Dude, I started running with the goals of getting a six pack. I've now won a 100-mile race, and I don't have a six pack to show for it.
I mean, Lorenzo will probably explain to you how to build muscle. Cortisol? How to build muscle is
that is the if that's look. I'm not,
kicking it off like that on this one.
I'm not. For,
Omar wants a six pack.
Like I genuinely am not for the aesthetics. The aesthetics are a nice like byproduct of being in shape. It's nice, but I don't care for that. So I train to feel the best with what I want to do, not for aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were training for aesthetics, which is what you just said, running is the last thing you should be doing.
Sprints.
Last thing you should be doing is endurance running.
So that goes along to a comment we just got on a older podcast, which is cool. People are still watching old podcasts on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's episode 71, Backcountry Food Breakdown. This guy says, Lorenzo needs to promote some actual size and strength when it comes to training with his team. They will have a better appreciation for that performance he talked about. And then that 3 pounds of food per day won't be nearly as difficult, just like a heavy meat load. As good as Trail and Brady are at the craft, they will break down less over time because they'll be more resilient and every stride will be easier.
Well, say that again. What did he say?
Lorenzo needs to promote some actual size and strength when it comes to training with his team. Because I think we talked about Trail and I just run all the time.
Yeah.
And so if we were stronger, we would break down less over time. Correct. And be more resilient, and every stride will be easier.
Correct.
So even though we do run, that strength side of it would pay off still.
Yeah.
So we could do both, and that like hybrid athlete thing everyone talks about nowadays.
Look, I should probably do in like running I ruck. I don't like to run. That's why I don't do it. I'm a proponent of like, why do anything you don't like? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and I get the whole
rucking's great.
I get the whole other side of it where it's like the mental tough and the ice baths and all this. You're going to be way more likely to go train if you're doing something you're looking forward to.
Yeah.
So like, as long as you find those things that you like and something that you can hold yourself accountable to, something you're not dreading every single day. Like I don't dread rucking. I actually really enjoy it. And that's my form of like that endurance side for the, quote unquote hybrid athlete. But a true hybrid athlete is a runner. Like, some kind of major endurance, not just rucking.
Mm-hmm.
Ironman.
Like an Ironman or 100-miler, something like that.
Yeah.
That's like the true, definition of hybrid. But I do agree. That's what I've tried to tell you and Trail. And Trail said it himself. He said he's never felt better than when he rucked for all that time before a marathon.
Yep. 2026 goals. I need to start.
And I'm not the smartest guy for sure when it comes to research and all that stuff. But there's two ways to be smart. You can either listen and take into account what really, really smart people do. That's what I do. Or you can go try to figure it out for yourself. I'm not smart enough for that side. So I just have these very smart people that I listen to and then I try to take advice from. And that's their whole thing is lean muscle, strength, resistance training mixed with VO2 max and zone 2. It's like that's the ingredient. That's the list for performance.
Or Omar, you could just go on your elk hunt and bring a pound of food a day and then just lose all that like little tiny bit of fat around your six pack and then you come out just rocking a six pack, but you probably won't kill an elk.
But here's the thing. You have a story too. We're into a body conversation for this whole start of this, but you had the friend who's ultra jacked, like aesthetic.
He was totally gym jacked.
Six pack,
everything,
veins, the whole deal.
Yeah.
And he broke down fast?
Like no joke, 2 miles in on an 11-mile hike because he's just gym jacked.
Yeah, it's hypertrophy jacked. Like if you want a six pack and you want to be aesthetic, the best thing you could do is hypertrophy train, and that is not going to translate at all for what we do.
And he had to crush so much food in the mountains. He was constantly eating because his body just craved it because that's what he was so used to. And then he was so depleted on salts when he was out there, he didn't realize how important that side of it, the endurance part. Yeah. So there's that balance of like, you look good, you have a six pack, your arms are giant, your chest is ripped.
Got veins popping.
Veins everywhere. Like, dude, his arms are bigger than my quad.
Yeah.
There
are times I want to go down that path, but then I think about like what I do in my day-to-day life. I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah. He did kill a buck eventually on the hunt. So his first
But he died.
He died at the beginning, yes. Yeah. And we missed an opening day because of it.
Did you really?
Yeah, we were trying to hike in the day
Yeah,
before,
see,
like
that's-
that on opening day to try to get a hunt in. We didn't get a hunt in.
Killed his buck with a bow.
Killed his buck with a bow. His
That's
first
pretty
stock
sweet.
ever.
That's cool.
Oh, that's right. You told
Yeah,
me
my
that
buddy
story.
from Minnesota. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. But that's the way that goes, man. It's
I've
like
al-
if you want to be aesthetic, you got to go down a path that is only for that.
True.
And it will not translate to anything else.
I've also heard it the other way around though too, where like say a marathoner, like some guy takes him on a hunt and he couldn't hang.
Yeah, that could be.
So, yeah.
He just has lungs and legs, and that's
Yeah.
kind of it.
Yeah.
Which is true because when you're running a marathon or doing any of that, you don't have weight on you.
Yeah. And you're trying to have the least amount of weight possible.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the mechanics of running and walking are wildly different.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of foot flexion and calf, what do you call it? Like when you flex a muscle, what's that called? Eccentric or
Strain?
concentric? It's one of the two. Whenever it's like flexing, your calves are very involved in walking and they're not much in running. And that's where like a lot of those guys will fall apart.
Yeah.
When you put 50 pounds on them and their calves are working every step when they're not used to working at all when they're running.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like being used to like running like flat, fast courses too.
Yeah.
Like if
you know
I
who
think
said that? You know who told me that was Timberline Pursuits. I'm terrible with names. Treeline Pursuits.
Mark Livesay?
Livesay.
Yep.
Livesay told me that because he was an Ironmaner.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right.
crushed Ironmans. And we were talking about, me and my brother-in-law were talking about doing it. This is pre-kids, obviously, because now I have zero time. Talking about doing something like that. And he's like, walk. Make sure you walk. Train walking because you're not going to be able, it's your first one, whatever. You're not going to be able to run the full marathon at the end. It's like, and if you don't train your calves for walking, you're going to be smoked.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Were you going to get the Iron Man tattoo?
The whole thing. Just like a Superman chest.
Yeah.
No.
When you get your 100-mile tattoo,
Is that a thing?
I
I
don't
think I'm
know.
going to get like the decal on my truck, 100 miles.
there you go. There you go.
No. If I do something really cool and impressive, like 250 miles, I'd consider it, but I feel like 100
I mean,
miles.
100 miles is pretty impressive.
100 miles is the
Still
new
is.
marathon.
I don't know about that. I don't
Well,
know about that. But anyways, what are we here for besides body talk?
we got the boys back minus Trail. So Trail just killed his archery antelope earlier
First
this
one on the board.
weekend.
And
What?
he absolutely
First one on the board.
First one on the
pinwheeled
board.
him.
Yeah,
Did you see the picture?
yeah, stud buck.
51 yards, and you literally couldn't poke him in a
Yeah.
better spot.
Especially after his little bow debacle and
Yeah.
having to like sand something on his cam
Yeah.
and put his bow all back together and retune it. Like literally that happened like 2 days before he left.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. Made
And
a
then
hell
to
of a
kill a
shot.
sweet buck like that. And so he was going to come down, but we told him he can stay up there and write some articles and work on some stuff. And so we got the boys here. We're going to recap you guys' elk hunting film. If you haven't checked that out, definitely should. What's the title of that film, Omar?
Letters home.
Letters Home. It's a sick film, by the way.
Do you want to know the meaning? Why?
Yeah.
There's actually like two meanings, kind of why. So
You dropped a letter off to your mom.
I dropped a letter off to my mom, and then I don't have a family. So like my mom's birthday is, I'll just say somewhere in September. Somewhere during the peak rut.
Yeah.
So I'm never home for her birthday, and she's just like a big like, hey, just send me a letter. Like I don't want a gift, I don't want anything. Just send me a letter. Like that's kind of how she measures who cares, who doesn't. So like the whole time, of course, me last minute trying to get everything situated, send a letter. Got her a letter and everything. We send it off. So there's that, and then Lorenzo's like also like in communication with his family back home as we're hunting. And we actually had like a little bit of service where you could kind of like check in with
At the peak.
At the peak, yeah. So it was just kind of like the keep in communication with like the ones back home and all that stuff.
That was a super cool part. I was wondering if that was your mom. I thought I heard you were talking on the phone with your mom after you killed the bull and like, oh, I hope the letter made it there.
Yeah, that's what I was
pretty
wondering
cool.
about. Yeah.
But speaking of birthdays, GOHUNT had another birthday. We turned a year older.
Yes, we did.
And right now we're saying thanks to everyone. And we're doing 20% off eligible items in the GOHUNT gear shop and then 2x points on the rest. So celebrate our birthday, save big, get some gear for the upcoming season.
Yeah, for our birthday present is to give back.
Give back.
That's our birthday present.
That's a pretty cool way to do it.
I was just looking. There's some pretty cool stuff on there.
Yeah, sure.
All in marsupial, Graxall boot dryers. Brady could buy a new pair of boot dryers.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, shout out to him. He did listen to the podcast and he heard about that. And he's like, all right, I got to give back because you gave back to the Kiwis. So he mailed me a new
He
pair.
gave back to you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool of him to do that. We also right now have a refer a friend promo going on, and every time we mention this, it's honestly still crazy that we do what we do for the refer a friend.
Yes, I agree.
Absolutely crazy.
I agree.
So if you don't know the refer a friend promo, basically right now, if you're a current insider and you refer a friend to GOHUNT, they'll sign up for Insider using your email address in the promo code. Make sure you use their exact email address that original user signed up for, and you'll get 75 points, and your friend will get 75 points back to the GOHUNT Gear Shop for signing up. You can do that 3 times. So you can sign up, 3 friends get 75. And then if you do it for 4 people, that fourth one, you're going to get $1,000 to the GOHUNT Gear Shop.
Correct.
And also, one thing that's really cool is one of those buddies that signs up, well, they could probably go and refer some friends too.
Absolutely.
So the way I actually explain it right now is we're all out there getting ready for e-scouting. We're collaborating on a hunt. We're doing all this stuff together. So no better time than now to have your buddies sign up so you can start sharing waypoints, put an e-scouting plan together. And then later on in the year, when it's application season, well, now your buddies have Insider. So you can use draw odds, you can use filtering, you can use app strategies. And then your buddies can draw a tag and you can turn around and go hunt with them, or you all can plan hunts together. So win-win, win.
Win all the way around.
Win all the way around. So make sure you take advantage of that. And that goes till August 24th. 24th, yeah. So that's a big one. And then, as always, shout out to Sig Sauer, sponsor of the podcast. And we love their optics, love their rangefinders, love everything about Sig. And
we'll be using a lot of SIGs this weekend.
Yes.
Land Pirate.
The Land Pirate.
The Land Pirate, yeah. That the Oscar 6 image stabilized spawning scope. I think it's pretty sick.
Yeah, I think that's sweet.
Yeah, and then let's just jump into you guys' hunt. So I watched it quite a few times. We had the film premiere before it launched. We had a bunch of people here at GOHUNT, so that was pretty cool. Gave away a bunch of prizes. But I think I noticed
gave away a Lift X. It's nicer than I'm shooting the old Lift.
I know.
So I told Lane, I said, how the hell are we giving away a Lift X and I have an old Lift? How does that work?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I like I was tuning my bow the other day, getting ready for Alaska, and that's when it really hit to me, like, oh man, I really want the Lift X. How you could just adjust the little top hats adjustments.
Yeah, that's
going
pretty
to the bow
slick.
press and doing all that, and then going back. I spent 3 hours.
So long. I just went through the same thing. My center serving separated.
Yeah, and
I had to replace it, and it's like you start making changes to strings and cables and
Trail came walking and asked me if I had top hats.
Yeah,
and I was like, I have top hats at home.
We're back to square one, back to switching top hats and doing this and getting a paper tune. I'm like, man, there's got to be a better way. Turns out the Lift X is a better way.
Can I manifest something right now for you?
Yeah.
So Trail had a debacle with his bow, and he had some success.
I'm all ears.
You had a debacle with your bow, with your serving coming loose because you shoot your bow, and you needed to get it fixed right before your hunt as well. So lightning strike twice here, maybe?
Love that.
So manifesting some success for you, Lorenzo.
Knock on wood. Let's keep that going. Love that.
I did have a bunch of debacles and kill my biggest bear ever.
You did. So
Here we go.
It's proof here. It's proof in the pudding.
Here we go.
One thing I thought was really cool, I want to ask Omar about this. So was that your first time packing in for a hunt?
For a hunt?
For a hunt.
On horse?
Yeah, you guys use horses and some mules.
Yeah.
So how was that experience?
It was super cool. I've never done it. Dude, I think we were mapping, and like the way in was just so long with full packs for, I think
we were going in for, how that started, we were going in for 15 days.
Yeah.
And the country back there is just, we knew going in, but it was even more so when we were there and living it, but it's so steep and broken. We were just trying to figure out how to be as efficient as possible on the amount of weight we had in our bags because of 15 days of food.
I mean, that could almost be 45 pounds of food.
Oh, yeah.
Just if you did 3 pounds.
I was 2.5 pounds rather, for 15 days. So whatever that is, 30 plus pounds.
Yeah. So that'd be crazy to try to.
A lot.
I remember the first couple days, like after we got up there, because we camped up at the Tarps, and that next day picking up my pack, especially being at 10,000 plus, closer to 11,000 feet elevation, I was like, oh gosh, like this is gonna be.
Yeah, I noticed.
Like I want these days at least 6 to go by so fast so we can eat this.
Yeah, that was the thought of it. The other side of it though too is it's pretty awesome experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's so
It's really cool seeing guys, you know, who know how to work horses and like them loading everything and tying
Dude,
knots
Blake.
and
Yeah, Blake.
he was a stud.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
like their hats they're wearing too.
Yeah, the guy that you were is Blake. I forget the other gentleman's name, but those guys were
Can't
cool.
remember either. Blake was a stud though.
I think
was awesome.
was it Michael?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
But they were awesome. They were really good.
So I saw the one part where I hand you the bow when you're on a horse. How did you hold your bow the entire ride in?
I held it the entire way in.
How is that? Is that nerve wracking? Like, did you want to hold it in case you had a bail and don't want to like fall on your bow or something? Or
I
were
just
you
can't find a
comfortable?
good spot.
Yeah.
Lorenzo took the good spot for the bow. Or
No, I
you
held
yours
mine too.
Yeah,
I would not strap my bow to an animal.
So
I want it in my hand to toss it. I don't want the animal to roll over it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, at least you're going back there for one reason, and if you don't have your bow, you're out of luck. You know what I mean? So I just refuse to take that. So I just tell I bow hunted my stone sheep in Canada, horseback.
How'd you get it in that way? When you
held my bow?
You held it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so that's the reason, because Lorenzo, with his past experience, he's like, I had the same question. I was like, so cases? Or like, what are we doing? He's like, dude, just hold it. I was like, all right.
So
You
the
can always bail it softly. Like I think your bow is going to have a much better survival chance if you're tossing it into a tree, like a soft tree or something as you're going down, instead of the animal like crushing it.
So the reason I bring that up is when I used horses when I went to British Columbia, when I bow hunted moose and mountain goat, I got bucked off like 3 times.
Really?
Oh yeah. And I strapped my bow to my backpack and then wore my backpack. But the problem with that is I got bucked off going in. Like Lily hadn't hunted a day yet because my horse was slightly blind. And I guess every time he saw a dark object, he like thought it was a bear. I'm like, great, I got that horse.
You guys are the same.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
they
we're
both can't
blind.
see
Yeah.
shit.
So it worked out. So like I fell on my bow. Basically, when I got bucked off, the one time I landed like almost right on my back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the last thing I need is have my bow jacked up, and like it really wasn't a good way to do it, and I probably should have carried it in my hand.
Yeah.
But going back again, I would probably find a better way to do it because you could, like Lorenzo said, you could soft toss it if you're like in the middle of falling
Or
off
like
or whatever.
just hold it on your chest. It's like carrying a kid. You know what I mean? If I fall when I'm carrying my kid, I can protect him on the way down.
Yeah.
As opposed to if he's right next to me and I'm crushing him on the way down, I can't control that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I've hunted, sheep and caribou and stuff in the past on horseback, and that's what I've learned is holding it is the best. Not the most comfortable, but it's definitely the safest for the bow.
Yeah. Yeah. They weren't horses too, I might add. They were mules.
Mules, okay, yeah.
They were good though.
Yeah, they were good. Yeah, we didn't have any issues with them bucking or anything.
Jumping,
Yeah,
bucking,
jumping,
nothing.
no.
They're just like kind of like, hey, we're just gonna follow the leader, follow the front one, and just all trail behind.
They
and
were
we're pretty
really
good.
animals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
that's
was
smart.
one, I think he was like a true donkey. Peanut,
yeah.
that was like a
Peanut?
stud. Yeah,
That's a
he
cool
was
name.
like just a tank, so he'd carry all the gear and stuff.
He was straight donkey. He was half the size of the mules, and he was carrying more weight and just crushing.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
You know why mules are cool? Because it's so close to being mule deer.
I knew something was coming.
there was one time when I did like look at my mule, and I think we were going through like the steep part, and like the mule like was just stepping on the freaking painting of us falling 20
On the
feet.
switchbacks?
Yeah.
Dude, those switchbacks were gnarly.
And I think it's just one of those times where you got to just keep your composure, like just kind of trust the animal.
Yeah.
Because you can't do anything. If you freak out, it's going to be worse for the animal. So
Yep.
Did you ever get to a steep spot where like, I want to walk?
Those switchbacks.
yeah, the switchbacks.
But you stayed on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Blake was staying on and didn't even give us the option to
Didn't give
get
the
off. So I'm like, yeah, I guess this is what we're doing.
Yeah, that was a cool experience though.
So you got packed in. I wanted to bring up something which I think I noticed on the film. Correct me if I'm wrong. Seems like Lorenzo's the only guy running an elk call. Is that true? Are you the better elk caller of the two of you, or do you guys switch
You
up
brought
calling?
calls.
I
saw
had
you had a bugle
calls
tube.
in the bugle tube. I'm not. I mean, to be honest, this is my third year. Yeah, this will be my third year like truly bow hunting elk.
Yeah.
So I'm not like I practice like in the car and whatnot, but I wouldn't if I have Lorenzo there with me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
probably do the same.
Lorenzo call.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely not Bo Brooks or even a third of that. But I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I do pack it in. I did have a bugle tube, and then I have some coals like in my little compartment just in case.
What's your guys' strategy for calling elk when you're up there?
Well, we'd never been in there. We did our best to e-scout and network, and
which you did a damn good job at.
You did. You did a really good job at that. I was busy doing all the other stuff. You were the one in charge of all that strategy and logistics and all that. So we had it like we were confident going in there. And you always kind of have like a thought of what you think you're going to do before you get in there. It's like, yeah, we're going to go to the high points. We're going to glass. We're going to call, get them to, crack off down in these canyons, and we'll figure out where the most bugles are coming from out of all this stuff. It changes real quick when you get there prime time. When you're sitting on you're overlooking. We could have heard bugles from 3 different basins.
Yeah.
We're overlooking 2, just walking back and forth. And we did not hear a bull, see a bull, nothing for a night and a morning. That changed.
And your thought process.
That immediately changed. Real time in the moment immediately changed what our tactics were going to be. So it turned into, we're going to go to the next, listen, but glass though. We started glassing, then we turned up that cow. Yep. Turned up the small bull on the real far ridge. Yeah. Real far ridge, opposite direction of where we wanted to go because it was on our unit boundary. But that was the only way we were seeing him was glassing. So I'm like, well, I guess this changes the plan. So
then explain to me the importance of bringing optics on an elk hunt. Because I know a lot of guys talk about, maybe bring some binos, bring a spotter. What are your guys' thoughts on the importance of optics with calling? Are they both an essential tool in an elk hunt?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think even if you're hunting timber, you hear a lot of people say, it's a timber hunt. I'm not going to bring any optics. And it's not, this is a huge thing for me. Those Zulu 6 is why I always talk so highly of them. Is you're knocking off 2 birds with one piece of gear, right? It's really nice to be able to have an optic that you can glass with. And I don't need a spotter to see, is it 6 point? Does he have a 7th on the left side? How long are his fronts? It's not that style of hunt. I don't like to hunt like that. I like to I really enjoy just hunting. If he's a good bull and he's coming into calls and, or if good buck and he's bedded, I don't need to see if he's got eye guards or a cheater or whatever, right? So it's the spotter for me is kind of out the window, especially on an elk hunt. But it is really nice when they're not making noise and they're, not doing anything, where you can just sit and pick apart little pockets of open timber and turn up elk like we did.
Yeah, with it being 15 days, we opted to just bring binos.
But good binos, glassing binos. I brought my 12s.
Yeah.
Zulu 6s. So stabilized 12s, like I'm glassing off a tripod. Yeah. Same thing. I just didn't have to bring the tripod.
Which optics do you take?
Same ones.
Same ones, 12s?
Yep, 12s. And I think my favorite thing about those binos is you could glass comfortably for hours. And I don't know, sometimes I feel like if have a non-image stabilized bino and I'm especially hand holding, I kind of just half-ass it. Yeah. Whereas with the SIGs, I feel like you'd really do it justice and knock off.
You can still grid it. You can grid glass with those Zulus.
One thing I saw too is a lot of times you were I don't know if there was elk down below you, but you were laying down on the side of the mountain trying to glass, trying to keep a low profile. And that's where I think the Zulus crush in that situation, because you don't have to be upright, glassing comfortable. Like you said, you can glass comfortably in any sort of weird body position.
Yeah,
100%.
And not keep your profile up, skyline yourself, laying on the side of the hill.
Yep.
And
you watched that correctly. Yeah, that's exactly what was going on. Because we were at the tops.
Yeah.
And it's you want them to come to you. So the last thing you want them is to see your silhouette up there.
We're with the bighorn sheep.
Literally. We had 2 rams walk past us.
And that's kind of what I want to jump into next too, because I saw you guys face a lot of crazy weather systems up there. What would you say, looking back on the hunt, what was probably one of the most essential pieces of gear? It could be multiple pieces of gear that helped you guys.
I know mine for sure.
That helped you?
Yeah.
The tarp?
Yeah. The Dyneema tarp was an absolute lifesaver for me. We were bivvy style.
Yeah. Yeah, we were bivvy hunting, and the first time, I always pack a tarp just in case of what happened.
But imagine if that was still nylon.
Oh yeah, true.
That would have been a different story.
Yeah.
Or imagine if you didn't have one at all.
Or
like you guys were able to. I noticed you guys were. I literally have tarp as a question mark. I was going to ask you specifically about a tarp if that was a thing, and I'm glad you chose that because looking at the film, you would see like a tarp is an essential piece of gear. You guys could sit up there, kind of glass out during a rainstorm, kind of stay underneath there, but stay near the elk, and not have to like go back to camp every single day, or pitch a tent and you're not at the right spot and have to pick it up again really quickly because now you hear bugles. Like you could tear down a tarp, chase after an elk really quickly.
Yeah, you could also use it to throw meat on, which I don't think I had it with me when we recovered my bull, but you could do that too. Just keep the meat a little cleaner.
But like Omar said in the beginning, going back to the beginning of like the logistics of this and planning and everything, the strategy of it. This is the highest elevation. I don't know of any other elk hunt that's at this high elevation.
Yeah, I mean
we knew that going in.
Yeah,
the networking and the e-scouting we were doing is. We kind of realized, okay, they're at timberline, which that's different for an elk hunt. They've never done that before, And it's like, okay, we're going to be hunting from the peaks, and when we were at that one peak, that was like right at 13.
Yeah.
And so we knew it was going to be pretty gnarly, weather-wise. And it's, not to give too much away of where we were at, but like then the valley floors below us. I think it's really interesting to see. Because I remember we would sit up on top and you'd look back down to, quote unquote town.
Yep.
And it didn't look very far.
No.
How long was our pack out off the backside?
I think it was
9 hours, 8 hours?
Yeah, it was a whole day.
On a horse.
Yeah.
Because they were an entire day.
Yeah, it was the whole day. I remember thinking about it because I was like, oh, they could come just get us like at lunchtime. We'd be back the same day,
I
right?
thought.
It's like, no, we need the whole morning to get you guys off.
It's a wild mountain range. Like one of the more aggressive ones I've been into. And it looks like town is right there. It took us 8 hours on a horse to go out that backside. Like you're not close. Like the valley's so far below you and the peaks are so tall.
Yeah.
Which obviously creates some pretty wild weather. It was more than I was expecting, but that's where you and I both were like, okay, tarps for sure. Dyneema. All the down, almost like a late season kind of setup with all the down. I brought down booties. It's only September 14th.
Yeah.
But it was freezing cold. Freezing cold. So we kind of knew like we were going to have to weather some storms, but not like we did.
That. Yeah.
Not like we did.
And then if I may add, it's not like a coveted unit at all. Like we were scrambling to kind of like plan together and everything. And I mean, I feel like it's always nerve wracking because you live, for this one time in the year. And, I mean, like when we had got the tags and everything, we kind of realized like,
it's a general style.
Yeah.
It's a general type tag. Like it's not anything special.
Yeah.
Walk me through those first couple days of the hunt. So you got up there, what happened? Talk to me about some elk encounters.
The one thing we can get into it, but it's one of those age old stories where you think you are like getting hosed, right? Like we got into a bad situation where we couldn't find the water. We thought it came all the way to the top. It didn't. Sent us all the way down to the bottom. That ended up being the tide that turned the whole thing, though.
That water.
Yeah. Well, when we had to drop down.
Yes.
When we glassed back up. That like changed everything for us.
Yeah. Should we get into it then?
It's just funny how that happens.
Yeah.
I remember being so mad.
Well, that happened on my deer hunt too, remember?
Yeah.
We found that water on that one side and it was like, it was kind of close to the end of the hunt, but if you could do it again.
There you go.
Yeah, you can start here. But we like to, get a lot of days and then try to do one day in the front. Two's ideally, but it gets hard with like family and like work responsibility. So we do like to do at least a day scouting day. So that's what we did. We kind of packed in, got there late evening, just sat there and glassed the evening. But then we had the next full day to really scout and take inventory.
And just real quick, the thought on that too, if it was just one tag, I probably wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to kill two bulls in a not premier unit and, just a general style unit, you're trying to kill 2 in 14 days with a full day pack out, full day pack in. So there's 2 days out and the hope is to kill 2, right? So that's why we wanted to go on with scouting on the front end. So we could kill opening day, hopefully, and then, keep going.
Yeah. So we just packed in and then we had that whole day to kind of like take inventory of like what's going on in these different basins. And naturally we kind of started working our way to where we ended up essentially hunting
the bigger part of the unit.
Yeah.
We started on one boundary essentially,
Mm-hmm.
and then wanted to work our way away from that.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember thinking like,
And nothing was happening.
no, yeah, I mean, like the country is like, you get in there, it's like, man, there should be a party going
There
on
should be
in
elk
every
everywhere.
basin,
There should be elk literally everywhere.
or deer at least. Nothing.
We
There was
never
only
saw
sheep.
we never saw one deer.
No, not one deer.
That's
Wow.
the craziest thing.
Really?
Yeah.
The crazy. We saw 2 rams, bighorn rams. One of them was pretty
one of
damn
them was
good.
nice,
One of
yeah.
them was like a nice ram, full curl ram. But not a single deer, Brady.
Dang.
14 days back there, not a
In
single
high
deer.
country.
Yeah, which is crazy. I remember thinking like, dude, we're gonna see a 200-inch monster
Yeah.
here.
Was the feed burnt on top?
No,
No.
it was
Wow.
great.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Lush.
Yeah,
But that
lush.
first scouting day, we checked off the one where you glassed the cow and we glassed the small bull on the
Yeah.
far ridge, and then that next basin
Yep,
to the west of us was awesome,
yep,
and then the basin to the east of that ridge line was awesome.
yep.
Nothing in either of those. Then we dropped through this huge saddle where these 2 mountain ranges that ran east to west and one that ran north south made this huge saddle. So we walked through that huge saddle and it was just this massive like grass. It's all above timberline. We're at
Yeah.
11,000 feet right here, 12,000 feet.
Yeah,
Right
probably
there.
12
And
full packs.
it's cool country, like amazing country. That's why him and I are like, where's the party? Like there needs to
Tracks,
be a
any
party.
scat, anything?
There was sign, but nothing
Yeah.
like
Nothing. I think nothing fresh.
nothing that made us want to stop and sit there for a night or two.
Yeah, some rubs. I remember like seeing like some rubs every now and then, but nothing that looked like fresh or
No sign of a mixer. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. No sign of a cocktail mixer.
Dang, no bugle party.
No,
Yeah.
none.
And then
That's
That-
where we came through that chute
Yeah.
where the water was supposed to be.
yes, on that first day.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I deal like we're at the tops, and then I had ran out of water. I didn't pack enough water, so I was like, this somehow kind of helped us in our benefit.
I forgot about this.
Because I was thinking like we're gonna get to the top, and we're gonna have water or something. I
Talk
don't know.
about Omar debacles. Okay.
Oh,
So yeah,
I told him and Clay both, who was our
Clay didn't have any
I
water
know,
either.
our Clay both, our cameraman. And look, I'm not saying I'm a pro at this by any stretch of the imagination. All I'm saying is I've done some horseback and high country and very long hunts before. They're like planned for it, right? I told them at the truck, told them before we left, fill up all of your water. Just because we're scouting, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to be beholden to water. You want to cover country, and then you can make your decision from there. So I'm like, fill all your water.
especially have the mules carry it up.
Yeah. Like what? I don't
Yeah.
understand what these guys were doing. So I'm like,
We're not
fill
thinking.
your Nalgene, your backup Nalgene,
Your bladders.
take a water bottle, and when we get to the top, crush that, give that to the horse packer. He'll bring the that down, the whole thing. Like, let's be water sound here, so we can just get going. Wake up the next morning. We're all over the place on these first couple days. For the listeners, I'm sorry about that, but this is I'm back to the first morning
Yeah.
before we started walking to the west through that big grass saddle. I look at these two guys. They're like, I'm out of water. I'm like,
Ugh.
we got packed in on horses. What do you mean you're out of water? Like I still have a full backup Nalgene, the 46 ounce Nalgene, but now I'm sharing water with these two. So I was mad about that. Now fast forward to going through that grass saddle, and that's where I was mad that the water wasn't there.
Yep.
But we were walking to water. What
Yeah.
we had mapped from e-scouting of like, okay, here's the water. This is where we're going to get it to still be able to stay on top. And the water wasn't there. So now I'm mad at Omar and Clay for not packing in water on a horse. Not on their back, on a horse.
Especially too because we had just left where we dropped off, where we had to drop off into that spot there. You kind of glass these two basins
Yeah.
and kind of like
really
go back
good
and
spot.
forth. Yeah.
So you
could-
left a good spot to go get kind of water.
We
and
left
stuff?
an incredible spot.
We were going to camp there.
Yeah.
at
but
the
we were-
top.
yep. And-
so we could glass both the north or south canyon rather and the north canyon. It was a little saddle.
Yep.
So you came through this big grass saddle that ran east to west. And then there was a saddle that met that one that ran south and north, right? So am I making sense there? So if you get there, you can glass both of those, back up this grass chute, and water was supposed to be there. It was like, that's where we wanted to camp. All
Yeah.
the e-scouting we did, it was going to be perfect. Like covered
Yeah.
tons of country with the eyes, listen, all these canyons running to us. We should be able to hear bugles, XYZ. No water.
So
and
then-
they're out of water.
So then what happens?
Had to leave a phenomenal spot
Yep.
to just go down the dry creek bed until we found water.
So you went down the dry creek bed till you found it, like getting back above the ground again.
We
We dropped in there and then kind of just followed the dry creek bed until it kind of opened up to a spring,
Yeah.
which I had no faith that there was even going to be a spring, but Lorenzo did.
Yeah, a lot of times that water like kind of subs out underneath the ground and it peaks up in certain different places.
My thought was, if you look at our maps, it's the classic dotted blue line into a thick blue line, like a consistent blue line. And in my experiences, this was a gut feel for me, but in my experiences, when country's that steep, when it finally does bottom out and gets a little flat-ish, that's where water will either hold from snowpack or help a spring stay bubbled up and broken that ground sheet. And we just made the gut feel of keeping to go down.
Yeah.
All the way at the bottom.
Yeah.
There was water.
Yeah. So we got all the way at the bottom. This is still day one, full day one.
Yeah.
And then, we just camped there. We found a spot where there was fresh water kind of rolling. It was already late in the evening by the time we finally got to water. So we just ended up camping there and kind of like, there was only this one hillside that we could really glass. So we just decided to stay there.
Through the trees. You could kind of glass it. And we had a meadow above us. And I'm like, man, if there's no water up top as seen, boots on the ground. Like there's no water up top. Elk, just like Trail always says, and we always say, that time of year, elk need water. Like they're going to hit water consistently. So we decided to camp there instead of still push, like back up to the ridgeline to glass. Like there's a meadow right behind us. Maybe, tonight we'll hear some bugles. Tomorrow morning we'll have something using these meadows to try to go kill, all that stuff. And so we literally stayed there for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Boots off, chilling in the sun.
Glassing.
That was a beautiful day.
It was cold that night.
I wish the rest of the days were as nice as that day.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful day.
I want to stay on the water thing for a second. So I know later in the film you guys showcased using the trekking pole.
Yeah.
For water. We had a few people comment on, I think, YouTube or Instagram, like, how'd you guys do that? Explain why having a trekking pole, and especially a hollow trekking pole like the GOHUNT trekking poles, why that's important rather than like a solid pole.
Yeah, I've specifically for capturing water.
That's why that hollow pole makes sense to get a trekking pole. If you're going to get one that's hollow inside so you can use.
I'm sure there is some kind of like strength difference or weight difference if it's hollow or not or whatever. I don't care about that. I like having that optionality of water capture.
Yeah.
And it makes it really nice for like those real light streams or wallows that are just barely running and it's all muddy and silty and you just can't get your Nalgene to get the water without the silt. With those hollow trekking poles, you can build a little like watershed, you know what I mean? Like a little depression where water will collect and you just wait a little bit, let the silt kind of sit in that little depression you make. And then you can lay your hollow trekking pole over that silt into the little reservoir of water you made. And I'm talking like thumbprint big.
Yep.
And it can just sit and you'll get nothing but clean water and no silt. It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's why I like the hollow.
Yeah. And that's really nice because then the water's going right down that trekking pole and then you can actually get it really easy with an Nalgene. And
it makes it incredibly easy for an Nalgene. But it gives you optionality in water. Like a lot of people, we're all always trying to figure out like what piece of gear do we bring that's like the most useful, because you don't want to bring extra weight for no reason and yada, 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 whatever. It's like a trekking pole is a great one. You have it either way.
Yeah.
Get a hollow one. Now you have more water capture capabilities. That's why I like
it's a piece of gear that serves multiple purposes. It's not just for 4-wheel drive.
Yeah. Pitching tents, tarps, all that stuff. 4-wheel drive in the backcountry when you're actually moving, water capture, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I love trekking poles for that. But yeah, so to talk about what I was talking about earlier, you've hunted with me before. I'm a little like frustrated. And when I get frustrated, it shows pretty easily because I'm usually a fairly calm guy. So I'm like, you guys ran out of water. We could have stayed up there all night, but now we're stuck down here.
I'm getting flashbacks.
I'm like mad at these two guys. I'm like, already made a mistake. We're already making mistakes on this hunt. That's what was in my mind. It's like, man, we got to
tune up time, tune up a good scouting day.
It's good scouting day. We're supposed to be on bulls, like ready to kill. We're trying to kill 2 bulls in 12 days, and we're not packing these things out in a half a day. So we're losing multiple days there if we kill one. And I'm already like, that's the mindset I'm already in. It's like, damn it, mistake already made, and it's only a day and a half in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, come to find out, that little decision, that little circus we went on for you little kids not bringing water, turned the entire hunt for us. Because that night, right at dark, Omar was glassing up the opposite hillside on the north ridge line from us, and there was a bull, and not just a bull, like the bull of the unit.
That's what Omar was thinking the whole time. Like, that's why he wanted to go down in there.
Yeah.
I see your thought process.
And then to add too, I mean, that, like I'm telling you, this hillside, unless you kind of moved, was pretty much like the only spot you could glass. So that was just like meticulously for hours, just like something's got to show up here, like praying something shows up. And long and behold, something did show up. And I'm like, dude, Lorenzo, I got a bull. I mean, he was like, oh gosh, like that's a big bull.
I'm expecting general type bulls, you know. I throw in my glass, I'm like, holy shit. Like, that's a bull. That's not just one. Like, that's a great one. So it turned the whole tide for us.
Yeah. So now we had a plan, and then the next day was opening day.
Yeah.
So I'll let Lorenzo cover opening day. Since I just
why me?
Because I feel like you have a better recollection of what we did that day.
I'm like Rain Man when it comes to hunt memories. Yeah. Well, we woke up that morning, and it's like, okay,
and it was cold.
I just remember being freezing cold. You know, creek
bottom. I saw you guys in puffy gear quite a bit. Like, I saw even Omar was like walking around in puffy pants.
And real steep. I mean, it just held that cold air in the bottom of those canyons for a long time.
And, sorry, we were going to watch the UFC fight that night, but we dropped down.
Oh, you ruined that too. I forgot about that.
That's right. I was going to mention the UFC
forgot
fight.
about that. The whole point was why we were camping there in our e-scouting. All this work we do. You do, Brady. You know, we all get it. Like, meticulous hours e-scouting and building a strategy and a hunt plan and the whole thing. Sean O'Malley's one of my favorite fighters. And, you know, his toughest fight coming up and like his real test. And I'm like, okay, we're camping on the top that night so we can watch the fights. So not only did I think we made a mistake already, it happened. I wasn't going to watch the fight. So I was pissed. Tides totally turned. And the plan was the next morning, I was telling Omar, you know, the reason why we didn't go in the night before, I'm like, that's a giant bull and we don't know enough about him. If we don't mess it up, he's going to be somewhere there. So let's not mess it up tonight. And we can use tomorrow to work in on him in the daylight. Because there's no chance we were going to make it there with daylight left that night before. So opening morning, we woke up, glassed him back up. Same ridgeline. Damn near same exact spot. And we're like, okay, we didn't go in there and mess it up. That was a good choice. We know he's there. We didn't ruin that. Let's work in on him, get to know the country he's living in because we can't see it from where we are. So let's go back to the top, walk that ridgeline, get familiar with the country he's living in, and we'll kind of decide from there. So we climb all the way back up to the top. And that's the one thing in the film there. It didn't do a good job explaining like why we just stopped and looked at the fight stuff. Yeah. We weren't even planning on hunting him that morning. Our whole plan that morning was let's get above him. Let's get to understand the country he's living in, the country we can work inside of that and not mess anything up. Let's get a lay of the land,
maybe wait till thermal switch too.
Exactly. 100%. All that stuff, right? Let's not mess it up. This is not only a bull in a general unit, but it is like a big ass bull in a general unit. So we're playing it super safe. So we climb up to the top, get our update on the fight that I was not happy with. Sean lost. And we just kind of like stayed up top for the majority of the day. That was seen well in film. We were up there for like the entire day, built a little shelter up there. And just trying to get, maybe he'd crack off. Maybe we'd see a cow feed out these trees below us. I mean, we're way above timberline, so we can see all that stuff. And anyways, it starts getting later in the day. Still no bugles.
Nothing. It was also windy, so we're like, we should get closer.
Yeah, that wind probably would have an impact on being able to hear bugles.
And we were pretty far off being at the top. but it gave us visually enough to, this is another huge reason to bring optics on an elk hunt. You just never know. We weren't even glassing elk. We were glassing, edge habitat and tree lines and figuring out where we could work. It was actually awesome to be in that little crow's nest and kind of figure that all out. And so when we were comfortable and, evening prime time was coming up, I'm like, okay, let's drop down. We'll go sleep in those trees right there. We got that all figured out where we were going to place camp and go hunt and the whole deal. So we go down, work in the tree line, and then finally our first bugle.
Yeah.
Finally, of what is that, 2.5 days.
Yep.
Heard our first bugle, and it wasn't a good one. It was just like a little friendly locator one. Like it was not a hardcore rutting bugle.
Yeah, it was just like a waking, like getting out of his bed kind of bugle.
Yeah. Like we were pumped, we heard
Yeah.
it. But looking back on it, that was not necessarily something to be pumped on.
I was like, well, I mean, we were excited. We were just like, oh, they exist.
Finally, yeah. They actually do talk back here. And this is where, I didn't think we made a bad choice, and I still don't think we made a bad choice today, looking back on it even, because what are you supposed to do? You don't hear a bugle for 2.5 days. You see that bull. He's the herd bull. He has cows. We saw that glassing. We're both thinking it's him.
Yeah.
We didn't know exactly where he fed off into. We just knew he was using this ridge and he was down in these trees somewhere. And we're thinking it's him, that bugle. So we go after it and we're working the tree line. And lo and behold, it's just luck of the draw with hunting. The shit luck is that it was not him. And while we were making our stalk on that bugle, or like playing into that bugle, he is working up the ridgeline towards us.
Yeah, there's like 6 cows.
With his cows.
Yeah.
Doesn't make a peep though. So what are you going to do about that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can only do so much.
Did you guys call earlier? Maybe that's why I was moving up.
No, we never called because they weren't calling. Like I don't want to be the first one to, like
you don't want to be the first person to go to a party. You
off.
want to like wait till the party's established before you go in there.
Yeah, I have, it's somewhere I've never been, right? So I have 2 thoughts on that. This is just a general thought that I have going into an elk for anyone who gives a shit about that. But I've never been there before. I don't know if they call or don't call. There's a side of me that believes when you go into a place like that, a general type hunt, they're pressured. We're on the second bow hunt. There's a lot of bow tags before us. There's a lot of bow tags on our hunt. There's a part of me that believes if those elk are used to calling, or used to not calling rather, they're quiet, they've learned to shut up, they only bugle when they need to, that kind of a thing, and they hear a hunter start cracking off every peak they get to, every ridge line they're working down, like that's an immediate giveaway of like, oh, that's not an elk from here. That's not what we do. That's a different behavior, so they'll start to act different. And that's why we stayed quiet those first 2.5 days.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to learn, do they talk or do they not? Trying to be one of them and how to work in on them. So we were dead quiet the whole time. And for exactly that reason, I don't want them to be like, oh, there's a dumbass hunter in here. I'm just going to go the other way.
Yeah.
Because I do genuinely believe there's elk herds that do that. And so anyways, we stayed quiet. And that bull stayed quiet too with his 6 cows. And I end up catching movement out of my left eye, and I'm whip my head around and he's standing there 60 yards, walked right to us.
Yeah.
If we would have just been facing the other way, like not even knowing there's an elk there, but if we would have just by happenstance been facing that way, we would have killed them that night. No question. Not a blade of grass over 3 inches between us and him. And we have trees at our back. Like it would have been dead all day long if we would have just been facing that way. So it's crazy how those little tiny things, the smallest of things. We were faced to the north because of the bugle. Not one of us was faced to the south.
No.
And there he was, 60 yards, wide open.
That's one of those ones where it just happened so fast. Like Clay can't even like press play on the camera, record on the camera fast enough to get it. It happened like just like that.
Well, I'm Italian, talk with my hands. I move, and there's no reason to not move because we can't see the bugle. So we're standing in the trees, whispering, obviously, but like I'm sure I was moving my hands, and I'm sure they saw that. So by the time I caught movement, they had already seen us. So I whipped my head around, and they're already going off the edge. The bull stood back for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
The cows are already bailed off. So I'm like, well, that was him. And there goes that. He's a 6x7, super narrow, super tall, like crazy tall and really long. Looks like 2 telephone poles. He had like no bend in his antler. Looked like 2 straight telephone poles with 6 points coming off it, 7 on the right. Super noticeable bull. So when I saw him at 60 yards naked eye, I'm like, that's him. That's the bull from last night and this morning.
Stinger.
Yeah. And so we put our tail between our legs and walked back to the camp spot that night. And none of us were very happy.
No. Yeah, we went back to camp. And then just, I mean, it was a sad night because
tail between our legs for sure. None of us were ultra pumped that night. It was a quiet dinner.
Yeah, had dinner, and then we woke up the next day. And we're working. We had like
let's talk about first though why we decided to camp there, where we were.
Yeah.
So what we had noticed was all the elk we had seen were right at tree line, like right at it, and they were using little like edge, like depressions of the trees, kind of make like a horseshoe shape. They were using those depressions a lot, like right on the tree line. So we camped the furthest north away from where that bull was to try to leave him alone, and at the tip of one of those horseshoe shapes to, hopefully we're out of them because they're kind of running the tree line at the bottom of the U, so to speak, within those little horseshoe shapes of the tree lines. You know how they make that kind of in the shale screes and all that?
Yep.
So I'm like, we're going to camp at the very, very tip. There was one tree above us.
Yeah.
So we camped there, and that was a great decision that we all kind of decided, let's go back as far north as possible, away from where we just bumped him, try to let him feel safe again. And we picked this last tip of the tree in this horseshoe shape, and we camped there. And great decision.
Yeah. Set up bivvies super fast.
Set up bivvies, tarps, the whole deal. And we're like, okay, we feel safe here. We're away from where we heard the bugle. We still don't know what that is because we saw our bull, and it obviously wasn't him. And let's just listen tonight and see what we're going to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
No bugles.
No bugles.
The
Zero.
entire night.
Gosh.
Not a
That's
single.
so crazy
in
sometimes.
the dark, knowing there's the bull we bumped, there's the bull we heard, but
There's
didn't
cows
see.
in there.
There's cows. Not a single bugle.
Silent night.
We were depressed. We were depressed.
But then we wake up the next morning, and I remember we're walking, kind of like making our way, kind of like slowly hunting. By that point, we kind of identified this is some prime elk country in terms of the elk that were in there.
Well, at least we heard one and saw one.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that next morning is when we saw 2 more bulls that we haven't seen, but they were just 2 like true raghorns.
True raghorns.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is obviously you don't know this. It's not by design, but where we chose to camp, I'm talking like 10 steps out of camp, ended up being like where they wanted to be.
Yeah.
It's where all the elk were. It was in this U shape. There was a U shape. And as it ran to the south from us, there's this big U shape and this tree line that comes up to make the other tip of the tree line. And then it bailed off like ridge line down into the bottoms where we came from the, opening morning when we had to hike up out. And for whatever reason, like that was the party zone. So we found it by happenstance.
Yeah.
And so we wake up, take 4 steps out of camp, and I'm like, dude, there's a bull. Right there.
Yeah.
150 yards away, maybe.
Yeah.
And there were 2 raghorns.
Yeah, 2 raghorns. I remember Lorenzo was like, do you want to shoot him? I was like, no, not really. Like my whole goal, like I'm not trying to kill a giant, but I want to kill like a 6 point. I was like, it's day 2.
One was a 4 point, one was a 5 point.
And then, it's day 2, it's early. Like there's this giant bull in the area. Like I know I can't waste the whole hunt on like trying to hunt him, but he's in the area. Like, let's see if we get like another chance. And
we
then
had 13 days left. So why not?
So we had a pile of days left. Bulls weren't something I was like super excited about. And then we kind of like start looking over, and I start seeing cows.
Their little ears.
Yeah,
it's so dark still. That's the other thing. Like, we're planning on working. How far is that? 1,000 yards?
Yeah, 1,000
back to where we bumped them.
Yep.
So we're waking up thinking like, 1,000 yard hike. It's nothing, but it takes a little bit of time. So it's gray light, and luckily the mountain carp are yellow.
They are
So-
big old school buses.
In low light, in the wide open, they're like kind of easy to see. And those two bulls were standing in the middle of that horseshoe shape I keep talking about, bright yellow. So it's like, oh, there's elk. And I remember asking you, do you want to kill one? Because both of these are dead.
Yeah.
Like if we want to kill these bulls, we need to make like a one move, and these bulls are dead.
Yep.
And he's like, no, I don't want to. I'm like, okay, well, we decided.
What was your thought when I said that?
Totally understood.
Okay.
Totally understood.
Hmm.
And the way this horseshoe, we got to build this picture because a lot of stuff happened in this area. So I want to take my time to build this picture of this horseshoe where we camped to the north on the highest point of these trees. At the top of the horseshoe, in the wide open grass, it's above timberline, like I keep saying. There is not a blade of grass over 3 inches above the two tips of these trees. And then down into this little U shape, there ain't a blade of grass more than 3 inches, right? Like tundra grass.
Tundra.
But there is this roll, like of the way the topography ran, it kind of like bottomed out at the bottom of this horseshoe before it hit the trees, and a real steep, like really steep roll at the top of it, that we were kind of camped linear to. Like as far as how vertical we were on the mountain, we were camped like kind of linear to this roll that rolled off into that horseshoe.
Yeah.
And when you didn't want to kill those two, I'm like, okay, well, we shouldn't bump them. We shouldn't just walk straight
go
across.
above 'em.
So let's hike up, get above that roll so we can get out of eyesight of them. We got the wind. The wind was howling straight up the face.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get up and we'll walk high enough on this roll where we're out of eyesight to them. So that's what we did. And that's when you were like, were those cows? There's just these little ears sticking up, like right at the base of the, vertically high enough on that roll where we could see the tips of their ears, but no eyes.
Yeah.
It was actually like kind of creepy because they were 30 yards.
Yeah. They were super close.
It was just because we had enough vertical edge on them that they couldn't see us, but we could see their ear tips, and their eyes weren't breaking the vertical line.
Yep.
So
They're
we're
just
like,
feeding.
holy shit,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of cows. There's no way those little bulls have all these cows. There's no way.
Yeah.
Well,
And then, lo and behold, look over another minute, and you just see the telephone pole bull making his way, coming to his cows. And at that point, he's probably, what would you say, 150 yards? But making his way to them?
yeah, he I think, we don't know, but I think he was like going after those two little bulls to kind of like push
Run
them
them
off.
off.
And now he's coming back towards us. So we see these antler tips
Yeah.
Whew.
walking towards us from 150 yards. And it's like, holy shit, it's him. It's him, and we're like 30 steps out of camp.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Dang. A lot
Yeah.
goes on in the morning.
So we quickly, using that topography, make a plan to get on top and try to set up to get a shot, which we do. But so it was nice how we could get on top and then go over. But then that problem was that those cows were already so close to us where we started,
Cows were like 25, 30 yards.
which didn't let us creep in closer to that bull. So like as that bull came in to like the best opportunity that we were going to get, that was already when those cows were kind of like pretty much like they're about to blow out of there unless we kind of do something. It's either we take an opportunity or watch that bull kind of like walk out of our sights, which I chose to take a shot at that bull. I mean, I don't know. That's a bull that I haven't hunted too long, but that's a bull where it got me like going, like where I just tunnel vision on everything. And I feel like I'm a guy that practices a lot, both like shooting my bow physically. Like, I mean, I dream about this scenario in this moment and then putting all my nerves together under pressure for whatever weird reason. Like, I think I'm really good at that. So like, there's nothing in my mind that isn't telling me like, if this bull gives you a shot, like you will take a shot. And like, I did not want to mess that up. So when that bull gave me an opportunity and we got in as close as we could before blowing him out of there, hindsight, I should have drawn and kind of gone up and shot, but I stood up, drew, and shot, which equaled into like that bull kind of like saw me. Like the whole time I stood up and draw, like that bull was looking at me. So by the time I finally let go, he was already up to something, knowing that something's not right here. And he was already making his like internally processing, I got to move. And then when that arrow finally went off and heading his way, I think is when he made his decision, like, I'm moving my body. So he moved his body right as that arrow took off. And then he positioned himself to a spot where that arrow clearly like didn't go, like where his vitals would have been, but he had already moved his butt towards us, going in that direction.
What it reminded me of, it was the exact situation I killed my Eastern Plains Colorado mule deer in. When a while back I had a bow tag in the Eastern Plains, and there's obviously nothing out there, and I used a little topography roll just like that. So I'm telling Omar, I'm like, but it's windy, and it's not that's the other reason. The other thing too is it's an 80-yard shot, which is super makeable. Like we can argue that until you're blue in the face. So is it makeable? Is it not? Omar practices ton. Omar can make an 80-yard shot. It's like not even a question.
I mean, to bring in a little bit of a context here, like we were practicing at 110 yards at a little
140 in my backyard. But anyways, it doesn't like whatever. You can make an 80-yard shot on a bull elk standing perfectly broadside all day long, no crosswind. Wind's right in our face, add a couple yards, whatever. It's like it's a shot that should have been taken. But I'm trying to tell Omar, and it's windy, and we're so close to these cows that I can't like talk.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to whisper to him, draw your bow and just ease up and shoot. Like I should have said, don't stand. I never just explicitly said, don't stand.
Yeah.
But I was, cause I'm laid down on my side and I'm got my binos up, Zulu 6s, glass from any comfortable position.
Exactly.
And so I'm like watching the ears of these cows and seeing how they're all faced, and they're century, but like not skittish. They're like fairly calm for all being century. They knew something was up, but they weren't like real concerned. They're 30 yards away from us. So it's like, everything's still pretty calm. The bull has no clue we're there. He's still like trying to figure out if he's going back for those bulls or whatever. And he's standing perfectly broadside and zero crosswind, wide open shot. I'm telling Omar the range, and I'm trying to tell him like, draw your bow now, and just like, cause we're all on our sides, or you're on a knee, you're like 2 steps behind me. And I'm like, draw your bow now, and then just kind of like ease up and just settle it and shoot. Like, don't make a big scene about it. It's just what's in my head. I didn't explicitly say those things. But like for anybody watching, when you're using that kind of topography and you have no backdrop, you just don't want to make a big scene. That's one of those things where you want to make all your big movements out of eyesight before you break the vertical line of their eyes. And I think if you would have done that, not to rub salt in the wound, the arrow would have got there for sure before any of them moved.
I agree.
If you would have just drawn before breaking that vertical eye line with the cows and bull, then just like eased up and stayed on a knee. Yeah. You don't need to see his full body. Yeah. You just need to see where you want the arrow. You don't need to see his hooves. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No. And I remember telling you, like, because I remember like after that, I'm like, damn, dude, this is like one of those spots where like it came, like, I think what happened between me and killing that bull was my first ever scenario, like actually being in that position where, because like after I did the whole thing, it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, like I felt the guilt, like, oh, I should have done this. Yeah. Clearly. But like as you're going through all the adrenaline, like I'm going to stand up. Yeah. And then
that's one of those, it's like my Eastern Plains buck. Dude, just roll to your back, draw your bow. Yeah. Like literally lay down on your back, draw your bow, then kind of like roll to a side and just get up on a knee. That would have been, the arrow would have got there. And I'm looking through my binos, and that arrow is tracking. I mean, just perfect to where he is going to hit him. And then when that arrow is halfway there is when he takes his, like, when they bust, they take those first quick steps away from you. And it's like a saloon door. Like his butt stayed put, but his whole body shifted. And dude, that arrow just went just right down the side of him. I'm like, that bull, if that bull would have stayed there a second longer, he's dead, Yeah.
That's why I like having these podcast discussions about a hunt film, because it's hard to understand everything that's going on with the film. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because there was one comment too. Someone's like, oh, you guys hired a camera guy and you didn't even see the bull, and the camera's on the ground looking at your feet the whole time. Yeah. It's like, you're already saying it's going to be risky to try to like move and stand up. So camera guy's obviously like, I'm not going to wreck this. and try to lean up and try to get the bull on video. And this is that little topography right there. You can't see it, but it's like the camera guy's trying to do his thing, staying low.
Yeah, I'll take the fault on that one. The camera guy, like, I mean, I should be helping too. I should have had an all-in adapter to my bino. You know what I mean? Like I could have, and that's on me. But the last thing a cameraman wants to do is blow the bull out before you even get drawn. You know? Yeah. So that's why that happened. I don't love that you don't see the bull because he's such a special bull, especially for that unit. That's painful to not see him. And I totally get that from the viewers. That sucks. That's one of my like real frustrations on that film.
For context, after like that film, I'm like, well, now I'm gonna pack a spotter, not because I want to, but because I want to.
I'm just gonna pack an all-in adapter to the bino.
Yeah, to the binos.
Yeah. We talked about that yesterday.
Really talked about yesterday.
Yeah, I'm doing it from here on out because it's just so easy. Why the hell did I not do that?
Yeah, I don't even have one yet. I need to grab one.
Yeah. So anyways, that happened and sucked. It was awesome that we even got a chance at him and that he was closer to us after we bumped him the night before.
Yeah.
So that gave us some confidence that like they obviously have pressure in this unit and it doesn't because they're not calling. No calls that morning either, by the way. Want to put that out there. He's got all his cows, 2 little bulls, 0 calling. Still that whole morning. None of the 3 bulls bugled. None of the cows made noise. And so that was, reflecting on, I should have not stood up, should have this, should have that, whatever. We didn't get them on camera. And did you notice all 3 of those bulls never bugled? We were depressed.
Yeah.
Back to full depression for that afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
And then to add the depression even worse, I was out of water again.
Oh, say it ain't so.
So we're thinking,
this kid's a camel.
We're thinking bail off this mountain to where we just came off from. Know it's going to suck, but we know there's water down there.
You know what it is though too? And I learned this from you. When you don't have freeze-dried meals, you use way less water.
Yeah. Stoveless method, baby.
If the strategy going into this hunt is we're going to hunt them from the tops, there's not a lot of water at the tops, any mountain range I've ever been into. Probably shouldn't bring freeze-dried meals.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But this debacle did help us out into identifying we can live at the top.
You can't just keep using luck to overshadow your poor decisions here.
Okay. I'm going to keep doing it though. So we're thinking, crap, we got to bail off, get water.
Massive storm clouds in the distance, by the way.
Yep, massive storm clouds are coming.
Storm clouds to the south.
And we're bailing off this hill, and as we're kind of like, I don't know, less than halfway. Like we weren't even halfway. We were kind of just walking down, making our way slowly down there because we kind of wanted to hunt that bull too, see if he came out, if we heard any bugles. So we're kind of just slowly making our way over there, not just going directly to water.
Yeah, because they had no clue what we were, what happened.
Nothing.
They just saw a shadow stand up, and it was in gray light. So it's like they're not. We bumped them way harder the night before.
Yeah,
way harder than what we bumped them there. Like, so they're still in the area.
Yep. And
so
then,
that was our thought. So like, let's go get water.
And then by this time, we're also thinking, well, where are these bulls watering? Because are they going all the way? Like they must be going all the way down then
at night,
getting water. Then kind of
because we never saw elk below the tundra line.
Yep,
never. It's crazy. They would bed right there in it. Don't get me wrong. Like they would hit the tree line, but dude, when you would glass, when you'd look, anytime they were always above timberline, always. So we're like, where the fuck are they getting water?
Yeah. So as we're going to get water, we accidentally hit a wallow.
We were following the game path.
Yeah,
we're following. Try to learn what they're doing. So I get on a game trail with some pretty fresh shit and tracks, and I'm just following it. And we stumble on a wallow. Yeah,
which was gold for us.
Awesome.
That in itself let us live at the tops there, which is where we wanted to be. So yeah, we get water, we get filled up, and then now we know we don't have to bail off, but we have this huge rainstorm coming our way, and it starts hitting right after we get our water filled up. So we packed up so we set up our Dyneema tarps, and then we're in those tarps, I kid you not, for 6+ hours.
Yeah, this is why I talk about Dyneema. If this was silk nylon, it would have been completely different. you don't have to make a shelter and give it airflow and all that like you would with silt nylon.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Got
laying
some structure to it.
and the water doesn't bleed through. Like the moisture doesn't bleed through. You know how silt nylon,
Eventually gets soaked kind of through.
if you have
in the
water
cone.
on the outside and you press your hand up against it, that water's coming through.
Mhm.
Like you're going to compress that water through the material to the point where like dripping wet, the whole deal. This is why I love Dyneema and why we wanted to do a Dyneema tarp. I'm a big tarp guy, but in my opinion, you have to do Dyneema. You just throw it on like a blanket.
Mm-hmm.
And the contact with the material, it's not going to get that water to compress through or bleed through. So I'm laying there just with it over me, like just a blanket, you know? So I'm just laying on the side of the hill underneath the tarp. I'm eating, making coffee, like just hanging out. That is exactly the purpose for Dyneema. You don't need that. You don't need to build a shelter and airflow and the whole deal.
Yeah, so we set up there for, man, it felt like 10 hours, but I'm sure it was like closer to 6. And I do remember, again, like it was freezing cold. Like I think I was in full puffy gear in my rain gear.
Yeah, we both were.
Yeah.
I had my down gloves on.
Yeah.
It was so cold.
Yeah, so it was freezing. We're just in there making coffee, eating, trying to kill time.
I like one comment you made. I think it was this part where you were like, I think I've stared at Dyneema for literally 10 hours straight, just like staring at
This
the
was
fabric.
after a different storm.
Okay,
Yes.
after a different storm.
It's because of all these storms put together.
Yeah.
But then what was kind of cool is during like the thick of the rainstorm, we saw a group, which I think was the bull that I ended up killing.
It is the bull
Yeah.
you ended up killing.
So there's a bull,
gotta
kind of
be-
pushing cows.
Come on, man. You're a real hunter. It's the bull you ended up killing.
Well, there was the two that looked identical.
I know,
So,
but still.
okay, so it's a bull that I ended up killing, and he was in there with his cows and everything. But I mean, during the thick of the rainstorm, so he was probably like 500 yards away. They couldn't see us. So if the storm cleared, the plan was to go after them, which we did. And eventually, that storm cleared out. We went after them for a little bit. Kind of like didn't.
The storm didn't clear. It like broke for an hour.
Yeah.
And they had made their way closer to us. He wasn't 500 yards when you took off. He
No.
was like 300,
Yeah.
200 even maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So he went after that bull.
Yeah, went after that bull and kind of pushed myself in some trees. But those cows and that bull was already like making it. They were already like in their head. They already wanted to get out of here. They've already been up there all day. So they kind of made their way down. We didn't push them too hard, and they kind of bumped off into their own thing. So we grabbed stuff and then went back to where we started off.
Hold on. Your bad logistics of water and all those bad decisions. I'm telling him he can't cover up luck because of his bad decisions. But the other thing though too is when we had to go get water because of his bad decisions, we got to hunt that bull, which was luck. And then the also other side of luck is we found water. But then the third piece of that luck was I got to watch that 5x6 because he had dropped down to go hunt him and I didn't. I got to watch him use the country. So I got to see what they're
the elk's
doing.
doing.
Where are those lead cows? What's she doing? Why is she taking that bull there? And I started to put these little puzzle pieces together. I'm like, okay, that 5x6 went here and lead cow is this way. I'm like, okay, this is making sense. Like they're using this ridgeline with this wallow. They're going here. They're crossing into the thick timber and they're coming back up this drainage where we bumped the telephone pole. Like that's what they're doing. So like then we had the full puzzle piece put together.
Yeah.
Like I got to see it. I'm like, okay, this is it. So we went back to camp that night.
Yeah, that's kind of where we decided that we are going to use camp to like day hunt because this whole day we had full packs with food and everything. So that's kind of where we decided like the goal is to like hunt off our backpacks, but like these bulls are using this area and a tiny little piece, and we had just covered a big chunk of the unit scouting and getting over here. So like let's just hunt from here, see if we can't.
We called an audible and ended up like spike camping.
Yeah, so we hunted from there, and then I think that next day is when we had like pretty much the whole day kind of like wasted from.
It was the next day.
Yeah.
It was. I've been very fortunate and lucky to go on hunts up north, which is, the dream of everyone. I've gotten to do it a couple times, and everything you hear about people going up north is you're going to lose days to weather. It's like a known thing.
Yeah.
And I have definitely lost some days to weather on some hunts up north, sheep hunts and caribou hunts, all that stuff. I have never lost as much time as I did on this hunt. This hunt alone, time lost with storms, is equivalent to all my north hunts put together. Like the amount of time we spent in a tarp without being able to hunt was insane.
Yeah.
It was absolutely insane. And that next day was blowing 60 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, fog, rain. Like you can hunt in the rain, you can hunt in the wind, you can't hunt in the fog, especially when they're not bugling. Like still, by the way, that bull too, again, that bull in the rainstorm, the 5x6 that you went after, never bugled. Not one time.
Yeah. And I remember thinking that too. I was like, oh man, like we waited for this. Like I want to hunt so bad. And he's like, dude, like there's fog. Like we can't do anything.
They're not making noise. And there's elk here. I don't want to blow them out of the country. Like we finally found where they're using. They're not calling. So we have to visually be able to hunt them. I don't want to blow them off these open hillsides. That was the thought. And that entire day, we were stuck underneath that was a 15-hour.
Oh yeah, that was brutal.
That was a 15-hour underneath a Dyneema tarp day.
Yikes.
It was crazy. We had a 30-minute break that we went off the back side.
Yeah.
Talking about stretching our legs. That's why we went off the back side, just because they were always using the south side of us. So we just stretched our legs on a little bit of break, but you could see the storm still coming. Back in, lost the whole day. But then that night, that's when it happened.
That night's when it happened. Yeah, so we had hunted that backside.
Not hunted. We stretched our legs.
Yeah, stretched our legs.
Looked around a little bit.
Glassed.
I would hardly call that hunting.
Well, I remember glassing this, and I was like, there's no way an elk is in here. Like, there was, like, some sign.
It's such a tight canyon.
Yeah, such a tight
scree everywhere, tight canyon. I'm like, they're not in there.
If anything, they're using it to, like, pass, like, to get to lower country when it's all snowy and crappy up there. So we go back, and then I'm like, oh, great. Now we got to get back in this tarp again and lay here until the next morning. Like, hopefully there's something good. So we're laying there, and
just trying to ride out, storm B of the day, storm C of the day at that point.
Yeah, we identified the final boss and everything. Finally went past us, and we're laying there, and there was like a bugle that went off. That
we were talking about. What I remember though is we were having a pretty deep conversation.
We were.
I believe so.
Okay. I was telling you all my life secrets.
I think so. Because we had set up our sleeping arrangement. It's like a straight side hill, so there's only so many places you can go. But it just so happened that, I'm laying. We're all like.
We had like a courtyard.
Yeah, there's like a yard. Clay is straight across from me, and Omar's like down off my feet. But we're all looking into each other, so you could lay in your bivvy and have a conversation. Like we were all facing each other's faces. So we're like laying there. And again, I know I keep saying this, but you got to put yourself in the shoes of when we're actually there. Like there is no bugles, zero. And you start to second guess yourself a little bit in those situations, right? Like you hear wind through the tree, this or that. Is that a bugle? I don't know. I remember you and I were like kind of we were in a serious conversation, like not a surface conversation. We were like talking about something. And both of us, right when that bugle popped off, both of us, like I remember your face immediately changing. You're like, did you hear that? Like, I think I did.
Yeah.
But my hearing's terrible, but I think I just heard that was a bugle, right? Yeah, it was a bugle. So him and I are like so like thrown off because we weren't planning on hunting the storm, no bugles at all. It's like, that was a bugle. Like do you want to go? Omar looked at me and goes, do you want to go? I go, fuck yeah, we're going. There's a bugle. We have to go.
Got to.
Like, I don't care if it is foggy. He made a noise. We can go hunt that, right? So anyways,
so we took off, got our boots on real quick. We didn't even take packs. We literally you brought, I think, a bugle tube, calls, your bino harness, your boots. And I took, same thing, put my boots on.
I was in full puffy because I was frozen.
I was in my puffy jacket too.
Yeah.
And then my bow and my arrows. And we went right outside of camp, and by 10 steps, we saw cows in that bull, and we were again on top of them. So we identified, we got to get in the timber here.
Well, this again, by happenstance kind of a thing, luck, whatever you want to call it. Things go your way, don't go your way, but you always just try to make the most of it. That the first morning when those two smaller bulls kind of had us in a weird spot where we had to go on top of the telephone pole bull instead of being able to swing down below him. You know, when I told him like, hey, if you want to kill either of those bulls, they're dead.
Yeah.
Like I can see exactly how to hunt them. Like there's these two little tree things that come together, this little tree line, and they're in this opening. I'm like, it's so easy to go kill those bulls. These cows ended up being in that same spot.
Yep.
So I had already already played in my head how those bulls would need to get killed with a really good visual vantage point. So it's like, oh, I know exactly where we need to go. Like that's where his cows are. I know exactly where we need to go. So let's drop down into this tree line. Let's beeline it down here. We'll hit this other little like topography thing, and we'll just kind of like butt scoot down until we get on top of them. And it
exactly what happened.
That's what we did.
Yeah. Yeah, we wait. I remember I could see him, but where we were at, it was weird. Like where we were at, like was as far as like we kind of could go without like, I think where we could like really blow him out. So I remember seeing him, but like I couldn't get like a clear shot or anything, and like it was like he was like in some timber and all that stuff. So I didn't feel comfortable shooting.
It was at like 70 yards at that point.
Yeah, it was like at 70 yards, and didn't feel comfortable. Like he was like running his cows, like it wasn't bugling.
And it was low light because not only is it evening and sun's going down, but also storm clouds.
Yeah.
So it's like pretty low light.
Is he being silent again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He just bugled that one time.
One time.
And that was it.
One time.
Which was his one mistake. Well,
Yes.
two mistakes. Because then he like, I think from what I'm thinking is he saw us.
He did.
And he was like, are those my cows or like what's going on here?
And this is my point getting back to, I genuinely feel like if we were calling, he would know that's not normal here. Like something's wrong. That's not normal. We just stayed dead silent.
Yep.
And we're both wearing our tan puffies.
Puffies, yeah.
And when he finally like was facing our way instead of his cow's way, and we're you know wearing a slight shade of what an elk color is, not on purpose, but like that's just what our down jackets are, and we're kind of shining a little bit because the down material. I think it got his attention to like pull him just 20 yards out of that timber.
Yeah.
To like see, oh, is that one of my cows?
Because I kid you not, dude, that bull like was walking to us. Like he wanted to see what we were. He was curious.
And we stayed dead quiet.
We stayed, yeah.
Dead still. The whole thing.
Yeah. So he just kind of like made his way, like slowly, like feeding, but then like would put his eyes on you. Yeah.
Feed, check. And each time he would take like 2-3 steps closer.
Yeah.
And I have my rangefinder out on my knee, and I'm telling him the yardage. He got to 51.
58.
Or 58. And I told Omar, like, dude, you can kill him. He's like, I don't know, I can't, because sun's going down in our face.
Yeah.
Right. We're facing the west. So there's like a shimmer behind him, storm clouds, like kind of foggy a little bit, not real foggy, but like just a little bit from the moisture in the air and the shimmer of the sun going down. So I know what he meant by like looking through his peep. And I was like, didn't I tell you, I'm like, just hold your pin off of his body.
Yeah.
And then like bring it into him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you were going to shoot.
Yeah. I mean,
but obviously you felt good.
Yeah. When he was further, I drew back and then I got him in there. And that's where I was like, I don't know. And then me and Lorenzo kind of had that dialogue together. And then he cut 10 yards. So it was super easy. Like now it was easier. So I drew back and then I saw him clear my peep sight and everything felt right. And it's kind of like, again, one of like those moments where like this, like everything feels perfect and I have a position here, an opportunity here. So yeah, I let an arrow go I had my pins at 60 and he was at 58 and I mean, just crushed him.
I noticed you stayed on your knees this time, right?
That was because how we were kind of like pinned down, we were just like, kind of sitting there, but I was kind of sitting on my, like, if you can imagine, like my legs, my butt is on my like ankles. So I'm like sitting. Yeah. So it kind of made it easy to like kind of like stand up and shoot, which I wanted to do that just in case, because I got the opportunity, because I wasn't going to sit Indian style and shoot a buck and shoot a bull. So yeah, we're kind of like, I remember like it being like a little sad, like Lorenzo's telling me the range, give me all the information I need. And then
it was dead calm too. The only time of the entire hunt, it was dead calm, not a breath of wind.
And then that final handover was just pretty much like, all right, like, he was pretty much like, if you want to shoot, if not, like, it's all good. But he's at 60 yards right now. I'm like,
I told you, I said, I know you can make this shot.
Yeah.
I know you can make that shot. And here's the interesting thing. And people can argue about this all they want in the comments. I don't really give a shit. I'm telling you, his 80-yard shot on the big bull was easier than this shot, without a doubt. Like, no question. This shot, he's got full puffies on. We're in the wide open. You got the shimmer of the sun going down in the background. He's kind of quartered 2. He's not perfectly broadside. You know, it was like a stressful situation. We only have 10 minutes left of light, 5 minutes left of light, maybe at most.
Yeah.
So it's like that weird gray light where things just don't look quite right. You know, it's I'm telling you, that shot that he made at 58 yards was way harder than the shot at 80 if that bull would have stayed still.
Yeah, so he made his way and got himself in a position. He kind of like he was kind of like almost fully quartering. But I mean, just a perfect spot where I could see all his vitals, like the last move he made. And, you know, got to full draw and saw him in my sight and everything and just let that arrow go. And then Lorenzo was like, dude, you crushed him. And then, you know, we could all relate. As soon as like you let an arrow fly, you kind of like black out, which is always nice, like having people look at where you're shooting at and all that stuff. So I'm like, all right, like I crushed him, cool, like felt good and everything. So I'm like, all right, so that's what I was expecting. And he's like, dude, like you crushed him. I'm like, are you serious? And that's kind of where the emotions come out, like all the excitement, all like that pent up frustration of just like everything that could happen. We finally got the opportunity and everything went right until the final minute. And Lorenzo was like, dude, last shooting light right now.
Yeah, it was literally right. I checked my watch and I'm like, holy shit, it's shooting light. Like that happened right now. Like if it was a minute longer, we wouldn't have been able to shoot him.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm a team player guy. I'm a team sports locker room guy. I was 80% sure he crushed him, but I just wanted him to feel good.
Exactly. Positive. Like you said earlier, you talked about you can make the shot, like telling him things he needs to know at that moment.
I'm a locker room guy. So I'm like, dude, you crushed him. We're good. Like you crushed him. But it's also, you know, the shimmer of light and it's shooting a black knock arrow. But I know the sound. I know that sound. I've been fortunate enough to kill a bunch of animals with my bow beyond a lot of other people's. There's a sound in the rib cage that's just irreplaceable. You can't hit the animal anywhere else to get that same sound. So I knew he hit him in the ribs somewhere. And that's why I was like telling him you crushed him. I was 80% sure. So we go back to camp.
No.
If I was 100% sure, well, we went down and got the arrow.
Yeah, we got the arrow.
If I was 100% sure, I would have went after the bull that night. But I was 80%. So I'm like, let's go look for the arrow.
Yeah.
So
which he does a really good job at like not stressing you out. Because the whole time I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like
I'm a locker room guy.
Well, before you
locker room vibes.
Speaking of locker room vibes, you might have to work on your high five.
Yeah, it's bad.
The one comment I thought was hilarious, and I think Omar responded back to the guy, but like you guys are kneeling down next to each other, and you've already gone like some bear hugs and all that stuff, excitement, but you guys are sitting there talking, and all of a sudden you reach out to do like high five, and you both like just barely miss each other, and then and then Omar's trying to like get a second one in there, and you're just like going.
Which, by the way, it's always funny to me looking back at like the celebrations. Because the whole time, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking like, oh, I'm so cringe. Like, what am I doing?
Oh, for sure.
But
this is why I love hunting. It's the only thing that gets me out of my like, you know, I'm a flatline kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't ride very big highs or very big lows. I think you guys would say that about me, my day-to-day life. Hunting is one of those things where I literally can't control what comes out of me.
Yeah.
Like in those moments, I literally cannot control. Like, yeah, I went for another high five, him not knowing this, and I pushed him out of nowhere like 3 or 4 times. It's one of those things I just can't control myself, whether it's me hunting or somebody else shooting. Like, it doesn't matter.
And then Lorenzo does a good job of gassing you up because he's like, dude, you're stone cold killer. I'm like, really? It's like, dude, I've seen that eyes and
locker room guy,
not that many guys, but you're stone cold. I'm like, oh, dude, yeah, like you're talking nice right now. Like we got this bull.
I mean, I did genuinely mean that in the moment, though. There's not a lot of people that would have made that shot. I'm telling you, that was a very difficult shot. Just all the variables into account. That was a difficult situation, and you made it happen. But we find the arrow, we go back. That's when I FaceTime my wife and all that stuff, and then I loved
your conversation with Turtle. He's like, when are you coming back, Dad? You're like 2 days, and 2 days, more like 9 days.
Yeah, like 2 days, more like 9. And by the way, that was like more like 10 or 11. But anything single digit to a kid sounds much better.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was a bold face lie into like a white lie.
Yeah.
Still wasn't quite the truth.
Yeah.
But then the next morning,
Yeah, explain this next morning.
Yeah, this is we've been taking a lot of time that probably doesn't need explanation, so I'm sorry this is dragging, but this part does need a lot of explanation. The next morning, we were going to go recover your bull, but we also knew the telephone pole bull we had him there before. We had him on the ridgeline before in the mornings. So I'm like, we're going to hunt the morning. We're not going to go straight to your bull. Like, why would we? We're going to have to blow out this spot where the elk are constantly using. So let's just hunt the morning, and then we'll take our time, and then we'll go down and get your bull. So we go out to hunt that morning. We weren't going straight to get his bull. We were absolutely going to hunt. So we rolled out of our tent, out of our little camp. And then again, they're 20 yards out of camp. There's a bull, and it's a 5x6. And it's like, immediately doubt creeps in your head, right? Like, it's like, is that my bull? You said it immediately. And I'm like, I don't know. So I'm like drawn back. He's 40 yards broadside. I'm like drawn back. I'm like, if that's your bull, I definitely should kill it right now. I don't want to shoot that. I want to hold out for, I've been fortunate, like I've said, to kill some bulls. I'm like, I'm going to hold out. I don't want to kill that bull. But if that's yours and he's wounded, I'm for sure shooting him because you didn't have your bow.
Yeah.
Because we were hunting that morning.
Yeah. I remember thinking, I was like, am I going to have to take his bow? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it was just the weirdest thing.
I almost handed it to you.
Yeah.
And then I draw, I put my bow, I let down, put my bow down, put my binos up, and I'm like looking at his body. Like, there's no way that's your bull. There's no way. I heard the noise. I know the noise I heard, and there's no replacement for that. There would be a wound on this animal. Like, you might have skipped it off his rib cage, but there would be a wound.
Yeah.
Like, you made that rib cage sound, and I know that sound. So we're so confused in that moment. And I almost handed him my bow, and I'm like, dude, I don't think so. That's not yours. I don't want to shoot him. Like, everything, it's all happening so fast. And now we're like talking and moving, and the cows see us. And then he goes running off, shows us his other side, because we could only see his left side, which is the side he shot on his bull. So I wanted to see the right for an exit to see, like, I don't know, maybe hit him back. I don't know. Elk are tough as shit. So who knows? Well, he finally spun, and I'm like, okay, there's no chance that's your bull.
We had the same amount of, like, what we thought, like, we had the same, like, amount of cows at the bull that I shot.
Same everything. Yeah. I think he took his cows.
Yeah.
It just happened to be an exact 5x6. Like,
yeah.
It's obviously genetic in there. It's a general hunt, like I said. Like, majority of the elk are rags and 5x6s, and that's about it. So anyways, we go off, keep hunting, looking for the telephone pole bull. We're still hunting. This part needs explanation in the film. We were hunting this morning to go find telephone pole bull. And that's where we went back over to go get water and kind of look down into that canyon, where I got the lay of the land on how they were using that canyon and up into the grass we were in. We're getting water for the pack out and just getting ready for everything. Yeah. Getting water before we go blood track and all that. And I'm hunting still, right? Omar's not, so Omar's getting water. I kind of like walk more to I guess that'd be the east on that ridgeline than we've ever been. And I just started glassing, and I picked up some cows in the bottom. And that's why I'm not on film, but you are. And you're like, oh, Lorenzo just picked up a 6-point. Yeah. Well, I'm going down, and I find another really good bull. And that's the 6-point I end up having a lot of history with in the film. But I find him, and I just sat and watched him for a while to get to know what he was doing, what his cows were doing. Anyways, that's the part that needed explanation. As we were hunting, there was a confusion if it was his bull. I'm still hunting. I'm still looking. We find the 6-point. Then we go make our way back. And then, mid-morning, when everything kind of tamed off, that's when we went down and tracked his bull. And his bull was 50 yards from where he shot him. Yeah. And I'm talking like a 50-degree angle. So he was dead within 10 steps, Yeah. I knew he crushed him. I knew it.
Yeah, frost on that bull.
80%, so like I said.
Yeah. Yeah, we get there, like, see the shot placement, all that stuff, take care of the bull, get it up to camp, and then, is that when we sat on the telephone pole bull, and then the 6x6 took his cows? Is that when that happened, that evening?
No, I think that evening was pretty well shot, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that evening was pretty well shot because of your bull, like dealing with your bull.
Yeah.
We glassed on that ridge line where I found the 6 point.
Yep.
That's what we did that night. And we found the telephone pole bull
All the way over there.
all the way over there with cows.
Yep.
So we went to bed that night with the plan of, okay, we relocated the telephone pole bull. That's the bull for even bigger than the 6 point for sure. It's like, that's the bull for the next day. So the next day we went back out to that little glassing knob we had been using where you could see that. And that's where he was coming. He was up on the side hill.
Yep.
And then went down into those trees.
Yeah.
So then we glassed and watched him go to bed. And then we traversed that entire fucking ridge all the way as far south as you could go.
Essentially kind of almost where we started from, like where we started dropping into. Yeah.
From. We literally traversed all the way back to where we were planning to watch the fights the first night of scouting. Like that's how far back to the south we went. And we got set up in an awesome spot.
Yeah,
I thought
great
it was
spot.
Badass.
Yeah, I remember in that film you say the furthest he could be is 100 and something yards away.
120 yards,
120.
furthest he could be.
Yeah.
That's the furthest he could be, which, a bull elk at 120 yards, he takes 10 steps and 10 steps is nothing for a bull. If he just gets a wild hare and wants to feed 10 steps this way, like, hey, buddy, we're in range.
Right.
You know? So it's like the chances of him being just completely out of range, the whole setup is super unlikely. Like he's going to feed, he's going to face this way, a cow might come this way and he's going to come get it. I need him to take 10 steps from the furthest he could be. And that's if he doesn't even just feed up at 60,
Yeah.
And above him, thermals, the whole deal, because it's midday. Well, this goddamn 6 point.
Yeah.
Man, which he was a real...
Which I will say in the film, we don't really, doesn't do it justice in what happened.
No, this part needs explanation too. We were on the telephone pole bull. Like
waited all day
for him. And that's the bull I wanted to kill. Like that, when I saw him and there was a bull that existed like that in the unit, I'm like, that's the bull I'm killing. I'm going to hold out for him. That's why we traversed all the way over. We're sitting there. I didn't care if we got back to camp at midnight that night. Like that's what was the plan. The 6 point, man, like I said at the end of that film, he's going to live rip free in my head for a long time because there's so much like things he did to me and us, the team up there.
Hazed us.
Dude, he hazed us. So we're sitting there on the telephone pole bull, and everything's good, man. Oh, it's all great. His cows come feeding out. All of a sudden we hear a bugle.
Yeah.
And not just a bugle. Like now this is the first party we have heard. Hear a bugle, hear a bugle, hear a bugle. Here comes a bull out of the canyon towards telephone pole. And it's the 6 point, the one I had glassed up while we were getting water before we went back to Omar's bull. And he comes strutting into that timber, bugles back and forth, straight mixer, cocktail mixer, first one of the whole trip.
Yep.
Whole thing.
I'm thinking this is awesome.
Blows up in the forest. Cows are coming out, cows are mewing. First Catalina wine mixer of the whole trip. The telephone pole bull is way bigger.
Yeah.
Like body wise, size wise, everything.
Yep.
But what bull comes walking out with all the cows? 6 point.
Yeah.
6 point has those cows, totally shifts everything that's going on. He had kicked the whole fight between him and telephone pole had kicked the cows out early. So it got the cows out higher and closer to us before the bulls were like, they were obviously,
fighting,
distracted by the fighting and everything to follow their cows, which it would have been that one cow, the one that winded us, she was at 60 yards, 65 yards. Like if the bulls would have if the bull was left alone and he just followed his lead cow, which is what happens 9 times out of 10, he would have been right there in his little group of cows at 80 yards the furthest, 90 yards the furthest. Well, the 6 point busts him out and all the cows come out and they're all bedded now, like out of the trees because they don't want to deal with the riffraff and all this shit. And then the cow's like kind of close to us. Well, then the wind switches because everything took way longer to happen because of the whole wine mixture going on. And anyways, no explanation there. The video does a good job. We get winded because thermals change. Everything took too long to come to fruition. And from that day, we never saw
him again.
Telephone pole again.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Ever, never again. Saw the 6
What he
point.
did.
We saw the 6 point every single day from that point on. Well, there was the storm days where we couldn't hunt, and the fog in day, and then the day after the fog, which was like beyond beautiful.
Yeah.
Never saw an elk.
Yeah.
Which was like the craziest thing. So we lost a day to more weather. Then the next day, I'm going to go through this part fast because there's really no recap. Right? So we lose the telephone pole bull. Next day, lose it to weather, fog in. Next day, crystal clear, cold, calm. Fogs kind of come lifting up out of the mountains. Do not see a single elk that entire day.
Yeah.
So we lost a day to weather, then we lost a day to 0 elk. And I obviously don't want to leave because I don't know telephone pole's gone.
Yeah.
I know the 6 points in there. So why would I leave 2 great bulls? So we stick it out, go in there. The next day, we find them. And, oh shit, I've totally spaced. When they winded us, when we dropped down into the trees with them.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
That's when I got my shot at the 6 point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one
So
looked
back
like
up a little bit.
I
That
know
seems like it happened
we're already
fast.
an hour and a half into this, so I'm
This part's
trying to
quick,
help our
but-
listeners here. This part's quick, but so after he winded us, kicked the telephone pole bull out, he dropped down. We dropped with him. Like just side out. I'm going full send. I don't care if we end up down on the highway tonight. We're going full send on this bull. So not knowing how far the highway actually was once we backed out, but just visually, I'm like, fuck it, we're going. So we circumvent him somehow, some way. Luck of the draw. I hear some twigs cracking when we're in the trees and this and that. Still no bugles, nothing. He had so many cows with him though, because now he had his plus telephones. We got in on him, and I saw him. We got pinned with a cow like from here to the window.
Yeah. So,
but we're in the dark timber at sunset. My experience, dark timber, low light, you can get away with a lot. I didn't know if we could get away with as much as we actually did, but I know you can get away with a lot in the dark timber and low light with cows. And so I'm like telling Omar, I don't even have my arrows. I'm like, Omar, grab an arrow out of my quiver. It's like on my backpack. So he hands me an arrow, knock it. I'm like, there, he's right there. That's him. That's his shoulder. It's his butt. His horns are in the trees. You can't see his horns. How far is it? And he was 71.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he's so dead. Like, this is exactly what I'm here for. Like, couldn't be better setup. Like, this cow just needs to let me draw. So I draw, the cow stays still. And this is not part that needs explanation. This isn't on film, which is another frustrating part of it for me. But anyways, I draw, she lets me draw, and all the other cows that are with her, but her specifically is like 15 yards off my left. And I draw, get settled, and it's, all of us shoot bows. You know when it's a good shot. Like, you know when it breaks, when your pin's floating, or if you dropped out of the bottom, or if whatever, and you know when it's like, it breaks, and even when it breaks, your pin is still on him. Like your sight housing still has him in the housing, you know, just breaks. And I'm like, oh, he's dead, like absolutely dead. I haven't had a shot feel that good in a really long time. So we're thinking, I hit him, or I'm thinking I hit him. I don't know about you guys, but anyways, it's dark at this point. Can't find my arrow. Like, well,
it felt good.
Felt fantastic.
We don't have an arrow.
And there's way less bugles now.
Yeah.
Because like I said, that started the Catalina wine mixer. Like literally from that second on, it was bugle fest in there. It was crazy how it just like on a dime blipped. One fight, took his cows. Now it was that 6 point never shut up.
Jeez.
Like did not shut up the whole rest of the time.
Yeah.
And he was even bugling when we were chasing him in the trees. It heard the twigs crack from the cows, but like it at least kept us on his trail because he was bugling. And so anyways, I'm like, well, we could pack your bull out tomorrow because this is where we need to go for the meat packer.
Yeah.
And we can come down here and look for my arrow. That's what we did. Actually, yeah, that's what happened. So the next day, that's what we did. Took his meat down, looked for my arrow, find my arrow. This is a part that needs explanation too. Is in the film, you hear me say, I can't even believe the arrow's that far off the path. I wonder if we missed an overhang. And I wish Clay would have went down to, remember I hiked down to where I took the shot? I made you stand where the bull was, and I hiked all the way down to where I shot from. And I've like pretended to draw, and I'm looking, and there's an overhang, like 2 of them, 2 aspen tree, thin little aspen tree branches hanging, and I'm like, that's had to have what happened. It's either that or my bow is wildly off. It's like one of the 2, and I need to know.
That's why you took a shot at the tree.
Him and I shoot the same arrows, and he only used 1 for his bull. So I'm like, I'll waste an arrow real quick to check. That's why I shot that eye shape on the aspen tree. Like I either hit that overhang or my bow's off and I need closure on which one
Yeah,
it was.
exactly. You do. 'Cause you got hunting time left.
So I wish Clay would have went down because it was so clear now with proper light, not low light. There was these 2 aspen branches that hung, no leaves on them, no nothing, just like skeleton branches that were right in my arrow path.
Mm-hmm.
And I must have clipped one, if not both of them. And that's what sent my arrow 30, 40 yards to the left. I must have just kicked the fletchings out. And so anyways, closure, which was good. We knew it was alive, everything. Now, the next day.
Storm.
Weather.
Yep.
This is a snow day?
Yeah, so we lost a day to packing his bull out to the meat packer and looking for my arrow because I didn't know if I hit him or not. Needed closure. Took that whole morning blowing up the country where we know the elk are to go look for you. I mean, you have to go look if you let a shot off. Can't worry about busting it up. So we're down there, bust all the country up, found the arrow. Thank God to Omar, looking in the most random place possible. Check my bow. Go back to the glassing knob, nothing that night because we had blown the whole country up. Next day, weather. Next day, beautiful, no elk. Next day, weather again, but huntable weather. Mm-hmm. And that's when I went after him in the snowstorm.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, walk me through that. So it looks like you're close to that bull.
I wouldn't define it as close, but I would define it as I was going to shoot.
Yeah. And it looks like, I mean, hindsight's always is what it is. I mean, you can probably explain it, but like that bull looks like it just looks like you're in the open. It's had one little tree in front of you.
So day after Omar's pack out looking for my arrow, when I say it's weather, that was the snowstorm. Yeah. Like crazy snowstorm. Lightning. We almost got struck by lightning. Omar wanted to run off into the trees. Wish that was on camera too.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah. I was like, should we
I tell him,
go in the trees?
Dude, we're way safer here than we are, hypothermia down there. It's freezing cold. Mm-hmm. Anyways, next day, beautiful. Next day, weather again, snow again. So there had been snow 2 days, a day and a half before, and then snow again this morning. But it's like crunchy September snow. So that's what happened, right? So it's like not the best spot and stock. And they're dead quiet again. No bugles, no nothing. That day with no elk, no bugles, no seeing them. Next day, the storm, when we find them better on the hillside and I go after them, no bugles, still kind of foggy. So this is back where we went after the telephone pole bull, clear to the south, but he's only about halfway to the back instead of all the way to the back of where the telephone pole was. So I knew I could get there.
And we were familiar with the country
and we were familiar.
Yep.
So we knew we could get there in an hour plus, And so we traverse, go. The country's so loud now, like every footstep is so loud because of the snow day and a half previous and the snow that morning. And it's that shitty September snow.
You're slipping a little bit.
Slipping all over the place, like slipping everywhere. I have rain pants on because it's wet as shit and it's cold. So I don't want to get wet, So I take my rain jacket off so I'm not making noise. And we're sitting at the last bit of trees. Like I said in the beginning, these bulls do not hang out below tree line. It's tree line or above. So I have no cover. We're like at the last couple Christmas trees, this whole thing. And I have to cover this huge, 200-yard wide open spot. Yeah. But luckily the bulls faced away, a 100-yard spot. And we made the decision, me, Omar, and Clay, I'm just going to go because it's so loud. It actually made for a cool film though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I go out. There was 2 trees though. And I remember you and I were talking, like, if I get to the tree on the right, it's going to open up his vitals way more so than if I get to the tree in between me and him. Mm-hmm. But if I get to the tree in between me and him, I'm going to be closer. I'm going to be like 8 yards, 10 yards closer, which you always want to be as close as possible with a bow. So like as I'm going, I'm debating, do I go to the right tree or the one that I'm using to keep me out of his eyesight? I should have went to the right tree because when he stood, I would have had open vitals. Mm-hmm. That's what I should have done. Yeah.
And
I would have been 8 yards further, but I would have had a full open vital shot.
And it might look a little hard on camera, but when that bull stands up, he can't see any vitals. I think all you could see was his rack.
Yeah. In the camera, you can see. In the camera, it looks like, you just arc an arrow over the tree and he could be dead. I'm way below the camera. I'm like feet below the camera. So all I see is eyes, ears, and antlers. It's all I can see. Like even if I try to arc the arrow over the tree, I'm still so far down, it's going to sail over him. And that was the whole thing, man. If I would just went to the right tree, it's one of those things, right? Do you want to be 8 yards closer, or do you want an open vital shot? And I'm thinking, if I can get 8 yards closer, he should come out either side, and I'll just take that chance. But it was so loud. Every step I took, he obviously knew something was. I could see his little telescoping ears like facing back towards me. I would take 3-4 steps, sit for a minute or two, and let him go back to being calm. I'd take 3-4 steps, see his ears perk up and telescope back to me, sit down. Like it took a while to cut that 100 yards. But if I would have just decided on the right tree instead of the left tree, I would have had an open vital shot to take.
Yeah.
And, that still fucking haunts me.
Yeah, it looks like it would have been one of the most epic kill shots. Like snow.
Thanks, Brady.
You're
Appreciate
like
it.
Creeping up a little bit, squatting back down, sliding a little bit. If you would have just kept walking, like you can see in the footage, like he kind of moved up and then he kind of just like, he kind of looks like he's casually turning, but then he sees you or hears you or something.
He heard me.
Yeah.
Which is heartbreaking.
Yes. Like I remember thinking like, oh man, dude, if that bull would give us a chance, we would have had one of the coolest films to share back. But honestly,
how many people kill a bull above timberline in the snow with a bow?
Yeah. That's
what I was thinking when I was walking off the mountain. I'm like, if I would have just chose the right tree instead of the left tree, it's like that's what's so painful about archery hunting. It's just that's the simplest of things. I chose to take the chance of being 8 yards closer and him coming out either side instead of just making the forceful decision of what's 8 yards. I can make that shot. I make it all the time. I'm not worried about it. And I have full vitals, even if I want to shoot him in his bed. I'm not saying I would have, but even just him laying in his bed, I would have had full vitals because it would have opened up that whole angle into his shoulder, quartered away, which I love. And I chose, 8 yards closer and play it the calm way, which is the real frustrating thing about that is that's not my hunting style. I'm a very aggressive bow hunter. We've bow hunted a lot together. I'm very aggressive with bow hunting. Like you got to bow hunting. The people who wait and let it happen, you got way too much time on your hands. Like I don't know how you're getting away from work and family and all that stuff for that long. And because it's going to take 100 chances to get the one when you just let it happen. I'm all about like making it happen, and there's ways to do it the right way. I'm not saying you can force it all, but like there's ways to make things happen hunting archery. And it's one of those decisions where if I would have just went to the right tree, I could have made it happen.
Do you think looking back on it, like 9 times out of 10, you probably would have gone to the right tree?
Yeah.
I'm not saying the correct tree, the one tree on the right.
On the right. Yes, for sure. Yeah. It was the whole culmination of the hunt though, right? It's like they don't bugle. We had the one shot. We haven't seen telephone pole bull.
Like
at least we still have the 6 point.
Yeah.
I don't want to blow them out. We still have a day and a half left. Like it's all those thoughts that you let, all those variables that have happened, and you try to reflect on it. And it was a learning moment for me. It's like, you reflect on them, but still don't let it change your gut feel. Don't let it change your gut. And I definitely did.
Yep. Everything kind of weighed on you.
In my head, like, I think this is a calmer style hunt. I can't make it happen in the trees. I can't call one in. I can't go shoot a satellite bull. Like maybe let's just play this one safe. And that's what was in my head. And that is not me. That's what's so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's like I had so many encounters with that 6 point, not like shooting encounters, but watching him blow a bull out, watching him run his cows, do this, do that. It's always there. And like, should have just made it happen, killed him. But it is what it is.
Yeah. And I think after that, the film kind of does like a good job of depicting like the weather. It seems like after that stalk we kind of had and whatever storm happened there, like that 6 point was gone. We never saw him again.
Yeah, after that blowout.
We never saw a telephone
That's the other
pole.
thing. You try to play it safe and it ends up being the same outcome anyways.
Yeah.
We never,
It's like that's one of those. That's why it's so frustrating. Is I did the safe thing, and whatever, and I still blew them out.
And then yeah, we had weather days and all that stuff. And then there was one morning where we had a whole new bull and a bunch of satellite bulls come in, which was that, I think it was a 6x6 with the matching splits fifths.
Yeah, he was a 7.
Yeah.
But he was another. We haven't done a good job of explaining how frustrating this country is and these elk are. I think we have by saying how quiet they were and all this stuff.
Yeah,
but I'm telling you,
literally see you never call. Like there's calling's not effective.
This is the most frustrating elk hunt I've ever been on. It's high country mule deer hunting meets sheep country. That's how you're hunting these elk. It is not an elk hunt. So, you know, all that stuff happens over these 10, 11 days, 13 days we were in there, whatever it was. And then one of our last days, this bull, we'd never seen him before. He's bugling like crazy. It's like, oh, the wine mixer's back. 6 point must be back. You know, telephone must be back.
Yep.
We break over the skyline. It's a new bull we've never seen before. 15 satellite bulls, which we've never seen before. He had walked in, grabbed all the cows. He was in the basin we were hunting. We've been in this basin for 11, 12 days, whatever it was at this point. Never seen this bull. This is right at daybreak. He has a group of, 60 elk?
Yeah, bunch of elk, yeah.
He took every elk in that country and blew them straight to the north and just like gone. Just absolutely gone. And we have a day and a half left. And now the next day, no elk. He literally had taken all the elk and moved north for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tough hunts.
It's crazy.
I got a screen grab of the bull.
He's a good bull.
I mean, we made a play on him.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
On that bull. I mean, we thought he was going to do one thing. He did the other thing. Like, again, one of those scenarios where, like, we can't go in there. It's, like, open country. He ends up, like, going through the saddle with his whole herd.
Closest we could get was 120.
Yeah.
So we cut as much distance as possible with the topography in front of us, but there's not a blade of grass over 3 inches.
Oh.
And there's 60 elk out in this massive grass face. Get to 120 yards, and it's like, okay, well, just look at them, I guess.
Yeah, that terrain being so open, it does seem like it definitely makes it challenging to try to like, okay, where to go. Especially when they're not talking, you're kind of like setting up, ambushing where they're moving to, and trying to get in front of them. And
it's a really frustrating hunt for me.
Yeah,
like very frustrating. I like elk hunting. I love elk hunting for one very specific reason, and that's being in the dark timber, not knowing what's coming in, but you're calling something in, and it's just like that surprise of when you finally see them and you're in tight and, you know, you're working a bull through the timber and
you hear that bugle like from their chest. Yeah.
It's like, that's elk hunting to me. This was not elk hunting. Like absolutely. I don't want to do this elk hunt again. I would love to do this hunt again, but if you tell me I'm going archery elk hunting and I only get one for the year, I'm not doing this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a tough hunt. I mean, I think joking, like we're like literally hunting mule deer right now. They don't talk. We have to spot them and then kind of like figure out a way to stalk them.
It was a high country mule deer hunt in sheep country.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah. You can really see it on the film. It's different.
Yeah.
Different elk hunt for sure.
Yeah. I thought it was beautiful country. Like I'll admit it. Like it makes for a beautiful cinematic film, but in terms of
country was those
incredible.
Elk, if those elk acted like elk in that country, it'd be the best elk hunt ever.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
If you were down in those bottoms, chasing them and calling them in the deep timber.
Yeah. 100%.
And letting the sheep and deer live up in the tundra grass. Like, yeah, that's an elk hunt. That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what everyone dreams about, right?
Yeah. So that's pretty much the whole film and all that stuff.
I said at the end of it that hunt humbled me for sure. Like, and it absolutely did. Because I'm very confident in my ability to go chase elk in the timber. Like, super confident. Like, I don't even, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, well, if we hear some bulls in the dark timber, we're going to kill one. Like, it's not even a thought. That hunt, that completely changed my perspective on elk a little bit. Like,
yeah.
I guess it's not like not killing them all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that hunt for sure. I remember. Like, I mean, I had my doubts. Like, kind of like just like going in, like new unit, like never been here and all that stuff. But I remember leaving that hunt, and I was like, dude, this was a humbling experience.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. Like we're lucky to have one, because when we were coming out of there, in that 8 hours I had to think on that back of the horse, I was like, we could easily be coming off here with
no elk,
nothing.
Like, very easily.
Yeah, like if it wasn't for us getting really lucky with hearing that bugle and then that elk doing what he did and making the wrong decision.
Yeah, it's a whole different story.
Yeah, it would have been even harder story to tell. So, yeah, I mean, the fact that we came out with one bull was great, and like I said in that film, like I was happy to fill the freezer and get another kill. But then you ride this big high. We're like, all right, so we got an elk and we got a bunch of days to hunt, and just for it to turn and completely like switch on you again, and then this time it switched on us and it didn't turn back into a positive like it had before.
The other part that was really frustrating too is, and I'm just thinking back on it, is I got a family at home, my kids in playoff baseball, business,
which we started the film
work, which we started the film with. But what doesn't show well is when I keep saying it was a high country mule deer hunt in sheep country. We had an hour in the morning to hunt these bulls, and then an hour at night.
Yeah, that's true.
The bulls. Yeah, because they're just not talking, so you can't get in the timber with them.
You can't get in the timber. They were not talking, so you couldn't hunt them in the timber in the midday. And that's my favorite thing about elk hunting in the timber is like it's an all day thing.
Yeah.
It's like go set up on a wallow, hang out, eat some lunch. Like you're always in it, dude. The amount of time we had to kill on top of that mountain on a frustrating hunt, and then thinking like, I'm missing a playoff baseball game today. Like this sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
That's obviously one area where I can't relate. Like I could, like, I mean, I've said it before, but I'm single. Like Lorenzo has a whole family and everything. So like that's all creeping in his head. And
you just thought so like, oh, my treadmill's probably missing me right now.
I'm like, oh man, I could be getting 10 miles in right now. No. But I mean, yeah, like those hunts will test you, and anyone who's elk hunted, I'm sure has had their fair share of miserable hunts.
This one tested me for sure.
Yeah, this one will test anyone out there. So, yeah, it was fun, but I think in the car ride back, me and Lorenzo both showed like the same testament. Like, Septembers are precious. Like, do what you can to get like. Sometimes it's hard. Like that last year was one of those scenarios where that's like the best that we could do.
And that's the thing is, in this scenario, you got to do what you got to do. Take any elk tag you can get, and I'll never tell you to not take one. Like always. But use Insider, do your research, figure out, put yourself in the best foot forward, which we did not do last year. And then we were behind the 8 ball with trying to get a hunt, and that's the one we could get. And we could have had better ones for sure. If we would have done some more research on the front end. It's like, man, the Septembers are so precious. I am not wasting another one on that.
Yeah.
Like if I'm hunting elk, I want to hunt elk. I don't want to hunt mule deer.
Yeah, exactly. Don't hunt mule deer in September like you guys are basically doing because of the terrain.
Yeah. Hunt them in August.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nice thing is, though, September is coming up.
Yeah, September's coming up, and, we wanted to push this film out, kind of get people hyped up, but also, like, wanted to we're not going to sugarcoat a hunt. This is the reality of what happens. Like, sometimes they're great. Sometimes they suck and you got to just grind them out. But ultimately, it's like kind of what you trained your body and mind for and kind of get hyped up for. So we hope we share that in the film.
I will tell you too, like that hunt, I'm now more motivated than I have been in
you learned something from it.
7 years.
Took something and
I am motivated to be on a warpath.
Are you excited for our hunt this year?
Yes.
This year?
Because I've spent 330 days of.
So it goes on the record.
Just like living in my mind. Okay. I'm on a warpath.
I know what he's going through.
So it goes on the record. I want Lorenzo to shoot first.
Oh, here we go.
Lorenzo's just such a nice guy.
Well, he is, but nice guys finish last.
Gotta get your coach. Gotta get your coach up.
I will shoot first this year.
Okay,
I will shoot first this year.
Cool. Yeah, because I mean, I've been lucky the last 2 years to kind of get the new guy treatment. We got to get that out the door. We got to change some things.
We're on a level playing field now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I killed a buck, killed a bull.
2 bulls, buck.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I'll shoot first this year. But I've been on a warp. It's been 300, however many days it is. It's like almost 330 days.
I think I did a post not too long ago. It was like 302 since September 30th, like the end of elk season. So yeah, 330 days sounds about right.
Yeah,
of just eating at me. I haven't been on a warpath like this when I think about elk in a really long time.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I was almost wanting to have 2 elk tags, but I'm like, I don't know if Lorenzo and Ford would be happy with me.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one come September here. So I hope it's got you stoked for elk season, and it's a good film, so be sure to check it out. Letters Home on GOHUNT's YouTube channel. And Yeah, as always, if you like a podcast, drop us a review.
Drop one.
Be kind.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
All the kid channels my son watches.
Really?
Like and subscribe. Yeah, all of them.
All of them do that?
Every single one.
Yeah. Well, we should take some advice
Must
from
work.
the kids.
So
Yeah.
please like and subscribe.
Yeah. It's hard work doing that.
Yep. Best of luck to everyone getting their final prep done. I know there's probably some archery guys heading out for antelope, mule deer. Me and Lane are heading out for Alaska tomorrow. So, the season's here.
Season's
and then
here.
September's a couple days away. So,
Yeah, get your
Dude, I
gear
got-
list together, shoot your bow.
I got 4 days.
yeah.
I even
Lorenzo's heading
got
off this
Eagle Eyes
weekend.
Brady coming to help me.
Yeah,
You
I'll
got the dream team.
I'll be out
I
there.
do. I have a good team, but I only have them for a day and a half. I have
Yeah.
you for 2 days.
2
2 days of hunting.
2 days of hunting. Yeah, 2
I
days
have
of
you
hunting.
for 2 days of hunting.
Yep.
2 days of scouting, 2 days of hunting. So yeah,
So, yeah, the office
4
has
days.
tags, and hopefully we could fill some of these. Trail just filled his, which we talked about earlier. So,
Yeah.
hopefully we could be like Trail.
Yes.
That's the goal. Everyone strive to be like Trail. Trail is the man.
All right, that was
Thank
a
you,
long one.
guys.
All right. Thank you guys for listening.